You've always felt it. That spark, that pull. Watching the greats carve through history. Every turn, risk, reward. Now you don't just watch. You step inside. You take the wheel. Together, we're breaking barriers between sim and sport. Setting a new standard for performance. So with the power in your palms, the roar in your ears, and the position of a pro, let's turn dream to drive and play to podium. Our legacy, now yours. Welcome to the grid.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hello and welcome back to the third night of the week of 4 nights of racing that is the Logitech G V8 Pro Invitational True Force Endurance Cup from Bathurst. It's a lot, it's a mouthful, but the reason for that is tonight we decide who is the fastest in 1 lap trim. Nothing else matters. Looking after the tyre will not earn you a cent of speed tonight, but it will earn you perhaps a few layers deeper in terms of the pack. Qualifying has become more and more important as the errors have walked their way on by. And Sandman, tonight, with the coldest 1,000 we're expecting on record for this series, I think this one means just a little bit more.
Yeah, g'day Scotty, g'day everyone, wherever you're watching around Australia, indeed around the world. That's right. The coolest conditions that we've had, obviously it's a different time of year for us. The schedule for us has been mixed up a little bit. So it's something different. The teams need to get their head around. Obviously sometimes you're thinking about whether it's going to be hot, rainy, whatever it is. But we've got clear skies, there's no rain about, but absolutely different conditions than what we're normally used to.
Yeah, so whether or not that will mean, what it should mean is that we should have record times here tonight, not only in our qualifying session, but then also in the 1 lap session that follows. It's 2 phases tonight. And up until this point, the 2 phases that you as the viewer would have seen from home would have been split qualifying sessions for 2026. That is not the case here tonight. It is a half an hour worth of open qualifying session. You'll have somebody else out there on track sharing it with you. In fact, you'll have 40 other cars out there to share this little bit of real estate with. then if you're quick enough, if you are part of the top 15 drivers, you will get the mountain all to yourself for one lap only that matters at the back end of this thing. And to be honest with you, it is the single highest pressure moment that we have on the series. Every other time throughout the championship, Sandman, you're looking in that rearview mirror. You're looking for the car that's hunting you down for chasing you. On the one-lap shootout, the only thing that matters is that next corner, is that next apex, is that next braking zone. And that tests these drivers in a way that you just cannot at any other point in the season.
Absolutely. And how special it is to Mount Panorama Bathurst, the lap all to yourself. That pressure, like you said, weighing on your shoulders, knowing that everyone is watching just to see how that top 15 shootout's going to play out. Absolutely exciting. And it's not just a shoot. So we've got qualifying, like you said. We've got some support races as well. And then, of course, the top 15 shootout. So a big night of racing ahead. Really looking forward to it. Well, Wires, we'll get into the hub. We're not going to be here long, so we're going to get straight to the action. We're talking about the Enduro Cup points. Emily Jones, Rian Linage, they're in first place, had an incredible Enduro Cup. And then second, Maloney and Richard Hampstead. Now, if you tuned in last night for the co-drivers clash, looks a bit familiar, that one too, doesn't it? Rian Linage over Richard Hampstead. So those two obviously got a lot of pace and they're comfortable with the way their cars are for the moment. So expecting good things for them, but it's the last round of Enduro Cup before we head into two more rounds before the finals. And speaking of the finals, it's the final system that we've got this year is going to be crucial because, like I said, after Bathurst, two more rounds, we head to the Bend, then we head to Winton, and then we start cutting into the field. So the top 16 go into split one, go into St. Pete, and then we cull it down to 10, down to 5 for Adelaide. So it's going to be crucial, and it's really going to impact this result for this weekend because a lot of teams and drivers are very cautious about the bubble. We're going to go into that throughout this broadcast tonight and obviously tomorrow as well. But a lot of people will be thinking about that bubble because if you have a big loss of points in this round, that can hurt your chances about making the field for 2027.
It's also unique as well. We're not going straight from the Endurance Cup straight into the final series. There is two more opportunities. So this isn't the be-all, this isn't the end-all. And again, we talk about the unique nature of the esports world as opposed to the things that are real. One of the guys who understands the things that are real and exactly what is going on with everything in terms of a mechanical relationship with that car is the guy that sits atop the pile in terms of the championship standings. And oh boy, is it a big one for Andrew Gilliam at the moment. I believe we've actually got a little bit of a typo on this championship graphic. I believe Emily Jones sits second with 1,338 championship points. So convert that 0 into a 3. It means that the margin for our championship lead at this phase of the season is actually minuscule. But also, think back to 2024. Jared Gilsell at that point in time had a long distance to climb his way back to the championship. He had a lot of rounds to do it in that occasion. A lot of time to do that. He fell just short in this place. Bathurst on that occasion, a blown engine for a co-driver at that point in time, who is in the field actually here tonight, it's Thomas McMillan. The tricky part for that is, well, he gets a reset if the same sort of thing happens again in that finals. It is a reset, so all of this margin that you've built to the end of round 9, it gets deleted and it gets reset. If you're 200 points ahead at the end of round 9, no, you're only going to have, a 15, 20-point margin over the rest of the field.
Yeah, and that's what you want when you know about the points that you've got. You obviously want to finish as high as you can because that benefits you when the final series starts. You know, you don't want to drop those couple of crucial spots because those extra points in your pocket could be really handy, especially going into the last round at Adelaide.
This is the championship bubble, and there's two lines that we need to talk about, two lines that we need to discuss on this occasion. First off, there's the line to P16. Everybody above that blue line on the left-hand side of your screen, they are final series bound. The margin around that line at this point in time is 15 points either way. Brady Myers is 15 points ahead. Wayne Burke is 15 points behind. Then there is actually nearly 100-point gap back to Ryan Better. So realistically, there are 17 drivers in contention at this point in time. That can still change. There is enough points on the table, particularly tonight, to still change that picture. Lachlan Capel is the first driver that would be, the last driver that we offer to place back in this series. Should he finish where he is, stands 28 points ahead of Josh Anderson, but Blake Warboys only sits just barely on the inside of that. and have a look at how close those points are on the right-hand column of the screen. That's the big one, Sam. There's nothing in that hungry pack from 21st to 30th. They're covered by less than 100 points.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just, obviously we're talking about the final series, the top 16, but like you said, just to make the top 20, just to get a free kick into next season. So a lot of people are going to be pressured and feeling the pain, depending on how their night goes tonight. Obviously, qualifying, it's not the be-all and end-all for Bathurst. We know it's a long race and we know that anything can happen, but it just definitely makes your night or day that little bit easier if you can start towards the pointy end. But if you have an absolute chopper in qualifying, you've got your work cut out for you for most of the day.
Yeah, and, there's 400 points on offer here tomorrow. I keep forgetting there's another day yet to come. Tomorrow. 400 points will be awarded to the race winner at the end of 1,000 kilometres. This graphic pops up each and every year, and I stare at it, and I just keep thinking, I never look at the track map. I don't, because I can just see it. I can just see those moments throughout the history. Think about the shootout and what that means to so many different people. So many different younger drivers who've worked their way through the series, taken a lap at a shootout lap, and made a mistake. They didn't prepare a tyre correctly. That is part of your ascension through the ranks and into, this is the blooding system. Once you get to the top end of town, you get one opportunity a year to get this place right. There are 23 separate corners. There's some rises, there's some falls in between all of those places, but you have got to be perfect if you want pole over 6.2 kilometers, and there ain't no one else out there but yourself, and that does funny things to the car driver's mind.
That's it. And I love that it's so special that we only race here once a year. It's easy for leagues to get carried away and have multiple seasons throughout the year, but when you know that you've only got one go at Mount Panorama Bathurst for the Logitech Pro Series, I think that makes it really special, almost as special as what real life drivers get to experience, and that's about as close as we can get, is making it as special as we can. And now we're starting to get a bit of a history behind it too. We're, like you said, we're looking at corners and we're remembering incidents that happened in the sim racing community and past winners, and that's something that's pretty exciting, and it's exciting that Sunday will rewrite another chapter in that history as well.
Already we're getting word that there's been a couple of withdrawals in terms of qualifying trim for tonight. Car number 92 and Rain Campbell will not be participating. The air quotes on the wall about that is Sebastian Vandel has done some damage to the chassis and she needs repairing. Well, there was a lot of chaos in last night's race, and Sebastian Vandel was certainly in the midst of it for an extended period of time. For now, Damon Woods is making his way down Conrod Straight in the dying embers of our practice session. We've only got ourselves about a minute 50 seconds before we get into our qualifying session. We've done some pre-race graphics and some pre-qualifying graphics up for you, but the one thing they will not tell you is that Damon Woods will actually be removing himself from Endurance Cup standings, and the reason for that, new co-driver here tonight. Caleb Hydes has a wealth of responsibility across tomorrow. We hope that he's prepared. We hope that he is in contention, because Damon Woods currently sits at the end of 29 minutes of practice, second on the list. The one driver ahead of him, teammate Zach Rattray.
Yeah, the oil pressure's will be starting to rise now. We're just in the last minute of practice where drivers are just going to get comfortable with what they've got. And then, of course, thinking about a lap around the mountain, and with all the drivers on track, we saw last night how close qualifying was just for the Clo drivers clash, and I imagine it's going to be very much the same. Oh, carnage just up there, just in front of the drivers. Thankfully, they don't have to worry about damage and getting back to pit lane for this one, but simple as that. It's so easy that something can go wrong and jeopardise their qualifying if we were in qualifying conditions.
I'll tell you what, we're going to try and do some fun things. We've been tinkering away in the background. I've talked to a lot of people this week, and I said, you've got to watch. You've got to watch qualifying now. We put a lot of work and stuff coming your way, and I cannot wait to show you guys stuff, as well as there will be a series first tomorrow, something that we have never done before. We've had to get some technology partners in. Although all lightening up on himself, up and over the curb, yep, done it to himself.
And just got tagged just for giggles. So thankfully, like we said, it doesn't mean much as far as qualifying's only just around the corner, so they do get to reset. But if that happened in quali, it would have been a totally different story.
Don't forget as well, Sandman, how are your nerves at this point in time? Because you get to watch how these guys do it in the fresh hardware, but you've got to climb on board your older race car. You are going to get the old badges out of the garage and slap them back on some racing kit for the first time in a long time. And I remember calling that race 2 years ago. We were saying this is the last time we're going to see Holden and Ford go to war on the mountain. Turns out I was wrong. I'm actually happy I was wrong.
It's going to be a bit of fun. There's not much pressure when you're racing down the back of the grid. So, look, at the end of the day, I'm a little bit jealous. I can see all the vets guys are doing some practice and getting ready for the night. So I'll be doing much the same shortly. But really looking forward to it. Should be a bit of fun.
Here we go, qualifying, and the green flag has waved. 30 minutes. You're going to have to get yourself sorted and get this one done. It's going to take you in the realm of about 4.5, 5 minutes, so somewhere around 6 runs for each of these drivers. There might be a lick of time for a little bit more. When the checkered flag waves at the back end of this session, anyone that's on lap will have an opportunity to finish it. But for the meantime, everyone has been chomping at the bit. This is the part of the race weekend that starts to get your heart pumping. I've got goosebumps sitting here, crawling up my arms. I'm getting nervous. I'm not driving a race car tonight. These guys are. And I can throw as many cliche statements out the window. I was getting actually bullied. I might have to go and get some of my phrases trademarked because I was using some that are so eclectic about this place. But you got it. You got it.
That's right. The mountain is the mountain. You know, you don't have to say too much. You only whisper those words, Mount Panorama, Bathurst, and it almost sends chills down the back of your spine just saying that. But yep, everyone's now made their way out of the lane. And they've almost completed that first lap, and you can see a couple of team cars just trying to hustle up front just so they can get together, work together, maybe get that little bit of tow, because obviously that bit is very crucial to get those long straightaways. So any little bit of a tow is good advantage, but you just don't want to be close enough where you could trip over the competitor in front and slow your lap down.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, qualifying is about to begin in earnest. 28 minutes still remain on the clock. Everyone sorts themselves out. Unlike last time out at Sandown, there's nobody looking for a little bit of front-end tyre temperature. There's no one weaving down the straight. The lap here at Bathurst Mount Panorama is 6.2 kilometres. That is enough time to get temperature in the brakes, get temperature in the tyres. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, qualifying from the mountain. 27 minutes and 35 seconds before we get to our shootout. 15 drivers will be decided on the other side of this one. It is time to show us all that you've got. Do not leave anything on the table.
Talk about how crucial it is just to get that banker, and this place like no other. It's more important than ever because you really want to get something that you can be happy with, that you can work with. And if you absolutely pull out a belter, then so be it. That's great. But you actually want something on the cards that you can deal with because you don't know what's going to happen throughout this session. I doubt we're going to see a red flag, but at the end of the day, you just don't know what's going to happen. Try to put your best foot forward, get down the banker, and then work on it.
I can already tell you, Emily Jones is just about up the gearbox right now of Ryan Jones just ahead. They're both trying to get as much power out of these things as they possibly can. And that means Ryan Jones, he's just not able to get to the throttle as best as he like. It's cars ahead. Who's towing you around that lap? Who are you able to try and match and try and grab that pace out of? As they crest the hill, as they rise, then they fall down through Skyline and the S's for the first time in true anger tonight. True anger, true consequences. And then you get a little bit of a break before you get to the elbow. You'll turn it, you'll point it, and you'll have a think about where you are going to pull it up when you get to the chase. Where are you going to position the car? Well, now you've got too long to have a think about it. Too long to think about as you plunge down through the hill, up and over the rise, just shy of the Fuso sign. It's 6.2 kilometres of the best racing in the country.
There's been a concertina effect into the last corner. Everyone ready to start their lap. So there was a couple of cars involved there and actually got some panel damage too. Not ideal.
And there was also, I think it was Brad Ratch who dived to pit lane as well. Was the car that you saw dive out of the queue. So there might have been more contact than just that in the checkups in the queue. You saw everyone hesitating, even at the pointy end of the field, trying to think about what they were going to do with their laps. But in the meantime, Zach Rattray White has gone ahead and done 205.391, but it's Cody D, who's the co-driver currently on board. for car number 53. Hayden Veld was quick back at Sandown, but he's handed the reins to car 53. The big note, though, immediately is car number 201. Goes to a 205, 194. Feldsell was not able to go any quicker. Wayne Burke comes across a car. Strickening's trying to scramble its way back to pit lane to reassess what it's capable of. But it is standing room only, 6.2 kilometres. You would think there's enough room around this place to get around it. But as it turns out, no, there is not.
Look at those top five. There's absolutely nothing in the top five positions. And they're the drivers that have been breathing that sigh of relief. They've got that banker out of the way. So 205, 194 for Gilliam over Jared Philsell. So we shouldn't be too surprised, but they're there or thereabouts on lap one already.
Well, it didn't take long to fire up. And the market driver at this point in time is Thomas McMillan. Think back to this week, 12 months, well, not even 12 months ago. It's what, about 10 months ago at this point in time as well. Because remember, October last year was when it was held, and he was the winner of the co-driver clash, and that booked himself a series ticket straight in. 3 new members will join that club as of last night. It remains to be seen if 3 of those members will be joining those club and accepting the golden ticket. Co-driver clash has just added something special to this week, but there is nothing. I really do feel that yes, the race is really, really important, but you really want a solid qualifying performance at the end of tonight. It makes you just feel so much more comfortable on race day Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes the weight off your shoulders a little bit because you know you've got a good chariot underneath you if you've had a good qualifying session. You don't have to worry about the first lap drama, the possibility that could happen, because obviously there's a lot of nerves, there's a lot of cars doing that first lap around the mountain, and you really don't want to be in the thick of it. You really want your own space, and obviously the closer you get towards the front, that takes a lot more pressure off than a drama might happen in front of you.
In the meantime, Angus Lawford is trundling around after his contact on the start of his flying lap. The big worry I've got for him at the moment, though, is that he's going to have to do this flying lap through a bunch of cars that are really trying to look after their tyres on their out lap. Is my big concern right now, and they're all just leaving pit lane as we talk about it.
How often do we see it when a driver gets out of sync with the rest of the field and they're trying to punch out a hot lap, and then they come across the drivers that are sort of on their out lap? It makes things awfully messy, but you just hope that when he gets to that sort of traffic, he gets a little bit of clear air.
Angus Lawford, well, the group of cars are still trundling out of pit lane currently. So concerned for him and where he's going to pop out. In terms of things, out of the final corner to car number 52, diving through some stats, diving through some history of this series. Well, Angus Lawford doesn't have a whole lot of history in the community. In fact, he's one of the newest accounts on the service in the series, period. iRacing measures its account numbers all the way back to number 1. And there are drivers and characters amongst the paddock and amongst the officials and amongst the commentary box that number less than 100,000. Well, Angus Lawford is the first driver in the series history. So he's going to miss the apex at turn 2. That lap's going to be custard. He's the first driver in the series with a number over 1 million. Joined the service in April 2024.
That's incredible. That's an incredible stat that his number is over 1 million. Jay and I were starting to show our age when we were talking about our numbers, but seeing that there's a number of millions, that's incredible.
Yeah, and well, for Angus, getting a little bit nervous, I would say, with that lap, because first time to the mountain, first time showing his wares in a supercar in this series at this level. He'd have done it 1,000,001 times, you would think, before this. If not physically in that car, then mentally in preparation. You think about a qualifying session as important as this. You mentally drive that. I don't know. I fall asleep thinking about it the night before a big race.
He's been pretty lucky. He hasn't been. Now this is where the traffic's in front of him. So I was going to say there's a lot of traffic in front of him here, but across the top of the mountain he was very lucky. This is a great shot on board of what he has to deal with. There's obviously a lot of cars here. We hope they're looking in their mirror. He's going to get balked here right under brakes. He's going to go in deep. I tell you what, he might just get away with it. If they start, it depends if they check up at the last corner, and some of them are. Oh,
I tell you what,
so far, so good.
it wasn't great, but it also didn't go to custody either. That was not terrible. I have definitely seen that happen a heck of a lot worse.
Yeah, and the credit goes. Go ahead, sorry. I was going to cut you off there, sorry. I was just saying the credit goes to, what he's doing is just driving around wide to everyone else to start with that was heads-up driving by all those drivers that just knew that there was a car coming. So good to see that these drivers were paying attention in their mirrors.
And the biggest benefit for him as well is Josh Horton will be the next car across him, but he's got about 3 seconds back to Brendan Myers. He's only going to have to let 2 more cars go, and he will not hinder anyone up and across the top. So he's in a really, really nice hole. Check out the traffic. It's a lot deeper up in towards the field. Dylan Rudd in car number 990. It has not been a great last couple of years for Dylan Rudd. He's had opportunities at different points in time to be a leader in this series, but that is in the rear view now. Gen 3 has not shown a turn of speed. He's starting to come back forwards. He is starting to put it all together. He's starting to come his way. But I'm just looking at him and going, I want to see such a strong Bathurst from you if I possibly can. And he's inside of that top 15 now. But that might just change in just a few moments. That was not a right time for a car to cut back across in front of him.
It didn't hinder him, but it just would have messed with your brain a little bit. So it's so easy for a driver to lose focus when you can see another car that's in front that slows down or moves online or offline. Even though they're doing the absolute best they can, it does distract you just that little bit.
Right, already we're 12 minutes into this qualifying session, by the way, Sam. It goes quicker at the mountain, does it?
It's ridiculous. And it's because your outlap is so long, and then you do your banker, and then you head back to the lane, and a massive chunk of time goes before you know it.
Here we go. Robbie Gibbs on his way to start a lap. Sorry, that should be to complete a lap for him. 2:05.4. Oh, goes to P6. Another car in the background going into pit lane is Stenberg. The benefit now, though, for these drivers who are getting out of sequence as opposed to Angus Lawford, Hillsell will improve to an 0.72. That number, 0.017, keeps popping up. What, twice last night? It popped up again, also between P1 and P2, yet again.
That was messing with your synchro last night, wasn't it?
I just couldn't believe it, because I was like, oh yeah, he's improved. They've both improved. I can't see it. Did they improve? Yes, they both did last night. It messed with my... You're right. Absolutely got my head. I've never seen a number do that. It's back. I'm going to be seeing 17 in my sleep tonight.
So Andre Heimgardner out of the Trans-Tasman stable. He's now starting his lap as he makes his way up the mountain.
Never think about that. You pull up at the first corner, you turn and point your way up Mountain Straight, and you go, I'm wound up, I've got all this energy, and now I've got to relax a bit. And then I've got to pull it up at Griffin's Corner. It's just, the place just messes with your head in a couple of ways. But the other side of that equation is during the middle of the race, it's 2 opportunities to take a massive breather and reset your driving focus and your talent. We'll talk about that more tomorrow, I am sure. For the meantime, Ryan O'Sullivan, he was just happy to be back behind the wheel of a supercar in 2026, back in and amongst the series. Took a break for a number of years, returned straight to the top flight, and just on the outside of the top 10 as well. I cannot believe that lap from Thomas McMillan. Everyone's all talked to me after last year and his performance in the co-driver clash. He shows up and he's just a Bathurst specialist. He's just so good around here. And you go, but half the Aussie community is. No, he really, really is.
We're lucky to have this racetrack at our hands, and like you said, there's so many people that are just extra good around here. There's something about this racetrack. It's so hard to be fast around here, and I'll be absolutely one of those to show you just how hard it is to go fast around here in the support races. But it's a great racetrack, regardless, fast or slow. You love every lap around here.
That you certainly do. Already, by the way, 2 penalties coming our way for tomorrow's race from qualifying. That incident for Angus Lawford that we saw the check-up at the final corner has been awarded 10-second time penalty for contact with Adam Briggs in car 72. Brady Myers has also been handed 10-second time penalty. This is on board on the entry to pit lane for Andrew Gilliam. Phil Sell got the wall.
He did. He clipped the wall there. But I love what they're doing. They're practicing that pit lane entry. You can't practice that enough when you know, especially when the big race is happening. You want to get that down pat perfectly, and people spend so much time doing laps around here, and you know, it's the focus here is getting in pit lane as quick as you can. And I like that Jared was just having a crack. He made a little bit of a whoopsie, but got away with it.
Now, Angus Lawford will line up, tear down to Murray's corner and dive it all the way on in, trying to get a clean lap in for the session. It's a long way back at the moment, at 1.6 seconds off the pace. He will come to the start-finish line and he will look to improve, and I don't think the lap's necessarily been all that good, although he might just be starting one.
Yeah, he's out of sync still, so... And I did notice that that sun of this part of the racetrack, it's got very overcast over the top of the mountain, as we can see with Cody Deeth and Zach Rattray White. It's a lot darker over the top of the mountain, so a little bit cloud cover can help these guys.
Zach Rattray White is indeed on a lap, and that is not where you would want to be finding track. There's no way you like this one. Yeah.
It's just too hard. You know, we talk about it all the time, and now he's frustrated because he's like, damn it, I was on a lap. And now that's all gone to custody. So.
And that first sector was very, very quick from car 17, and now he's going to have to reset and go again. Is that Wayne Burke that's immediately in behind him that's not happy with it? It's one of the Vermilion cars. No, there's car right there, so it wasn't him who was in behind Rattray White. Isn't this the speed that they normally travel around this circuit when there's no racing action?
That's the legal speed, isn't it?
Damon Woods, in the meantime, as I also had to abort a lap. And the sector 1 time was brilliant from car number 56, but he's going to have to abort on that one. For the top 15, the laps they do in this session are not important. They don't really matter all that much. But for everyone else, they do. They really, really do matter, because this will be your starting position for tomorrow. In the meantime, Lawford's not happy with the pace he's been able to put onto the session. Half the session is now gone. We are coming to the start of the second half. In fact, we're already 2 minutes into the second half of qualifying, and he's still not yet put a representative lap time on the board. The benefit for him is there is a checkup over this rise, but they're all down here at the final corner, and they're all going to get it sorted out. So he will get a clean lap in compared to the previous one. Now he'll tear out of the final corner. It was 1.6 seconds off the pace. He will look to improve. He does improve by 0.3. It's still only 38 for Angus Lawford. I'll tell you what, at track, we're talking about car. Temperature's heading down. We're going to need to see an improvement from everyone.
This track will get a little bit better. Like I said, it's going to get cooler a little bit. Obviously, there's more rubber. They're cleaning up the track a little bit. Oh, 2 cars just made heavy contact with the wall there. So just on exit, easy to do. That car's going to bail out of it. They both are. Holy moly, they had a big moment there.
Brad Ratsu, because that car is so iconic, it just pops. It's the only car that looks anything like that. For Rhino Sullivan, 11th place at the moment. Again, doesn't need to be better than 15. Once he's there and in and amongst it, he is gold. He doesn't need to consider it or care too much about it. This is that Rudd? And then Lachlan Pryke? Sorry, it's Will Sapstead.
This is a big one too. Oh, we just missed the end of it. But yeah, a couple of cars just getting a little bit up close and personal with the concrete.
It is fired off in terms of qualifying here tonight. Half an hour longer than normal sessions. But it's been rather fast-paced to this point in time. Ryan O'Sullivan will be one of the few cars who will be banking this lap. Car wanted to get away from him when he put the anchors on there at the tip-in point of Murray's corner. Here they all come. Every car in the background is going to be putting a lap together. For Sullivan, 5.434, shoots him up to P7. For Josh Anderson, he'll be looking to improve out of 14th spot. Ryan Jones just ahead of him will be thinking about every opportunity to get himself in. Drops to 37th, as you saw on the boards. Don't think he improved. Ando does improve by a sniff. Goes to 13th spot. Shuffles Ethan Griegold 1 spot further down. He gets shuffled back down. Somebody went shuffling a long way up. It was Ethan Griegold. Goes to P9. They're still shuffling. Have a look at the times. I said
Gilliam.
the track temperatures were coming down. They are. Gilliam is the first driver to dive it into the 204s from the mountain in 2026. Here comes some fire. Here comes some fire-breathing dragons. And I think there's going to be some tyres that are absolutely scorched in less than 10 minutes from now.
Have a look into the bubble too for the top 15. 10 minutes to go. Emily Jones is on the outside looking in, and she's so close. A 660 to a 679 just to make the field for the top 15 shootout. Obviously, we've talked about how impressive her Enduro Cup campaign has gone with Rihan Leonage. So they'd be itching a little bit just to get out there and hopefully map inside the top 10 where they're nice and comfortable.
Meantime, for James Chastanoff, was looking comfortable after looking at co-driver results from yesterday and the assistance he's receiving from Jamie Dyke. Car looks good, car feels good, car is looking like it's going to be racy. Car 63, Sean McNamara is the co-driver on board, and there's a few of them up and down the field. Remember, running on a Saturday. How often are you required to be here on a Saturday at the moment? A lot of attitude on board car 63. So this is not going to be a representative lap time. In fact, I think it's an in-lap. Blake Warboy's birthday, by the way. I think, actually, it is today. He'd love a gift of a top 15, a top shootout, and Mac is certainly giving it his all. But the pace not quite there for car 63 at the moment. I guarantee you, Blake Warboy's is off having a lovely birthday dinner, and Sean McNamara got a job to do.
Well, he's allowed to have one, surely.
Meantime, how about Job Stewart as well, after that sensational result for himself and Matt Bowler back at Sandown, and how much that one was celebrated. By the way, I said that Matthew Bowler would be absolutely celebrating and laughing like a hooligan. He had a very, very quiet night and was in bed very early, by the way. I did not expect that out of him.
Maybe they're saving their celebration for winning the 1,000.
Well, they're going to have to do some more work because that car is going to be a little bit better inside of the top 15 to be there. But we're hearing there's another replay for Cody Deep at the moment on board a flyer at the moment.
Oh, look at the traffic that he's got to deal with. Oh, how lucky. Oh, he splits the... Oh, I was going to say, he almost got away with that. Everyone did the right thing, got left as far as they could, and unfortunately there was one car that was on the right there and he just got held up.
Chapman is not finding some speed at the moment. He might be just a touch on struggle street. Potential for 2 more runs out there at the moment. Potential. And there's a queue of cars coming to the last corner to start their next qualifying runs. Jake Burton's going to be at the lead of them. Brad Ratchell will follow him into that final corner. You want just enough space in between you and the car and up ahead that the downforce all works pretty reasonably. What very little of it there is, but at the same time, you want to be in behind somebody punching that massive hole in the air. It's
catch-22, isn't it? You want to be close enough for a sniff, but you don't want to be too close where they balk you a little bit if you happen to be lapping a little bit faster than the person ahead. So it's a fine line trying to get that perfect for you, but it's a risk you all take, and the benefits can be massive if you can just get that little bit of a sniff and not get held up.
A shout out to everyone who's joining us right across the network here tonight. Speed Cafe, Facebook, YouTube, it is going out absolutely everywhere. This is, well, we have our finals this year. I was going to say our grand final. It has that flavour. It has that sense about it. It is the only time all year we run support categories. It is the only time all year that we run multiple days on the week with impetus. And for Damon Woods, this lap has a little bit of impetus about it. He wants to get down out there and after it. It was half a second quicker than Rattray White, who follows him through. They've been working together. No, they're both going to dive back to the lane. I thought they were on a flyer. I just thought they were on a flyer.
They'll head back, get another set of Dunlops and get ready to go again. There's some flashing lights there. So that's down.
I reckon that'll be a mistake. He's probably just bumping on that one. Another group of 4 cars to go. Another group of massively more 4 cars. There's no one on a fly that's in this group, in and around this group, amongst this group. Here's the next cars that actually are on flyers. This will be problematic for them coming through the chase at the moment because they're just organising themselves. We've got a car stopped, I think, at the final couple of corners. I did see a massive yellow flag in that zone, and I'm just concerned about there's a car missing a front left wheel. Andre Yusuf is missing a front tyre.
Whereabouts is he? I didn't see it on the track.
It's only just happened. It's actually happened coming out of the chase. He's gotten it all out of shape. And remember I said there was a yellow flag at basically pit lane entry? It had literally just happened, and this would tell the story. So he gets the car tipped in, gets it sideways. He's not willing to abort the throttle because you'll lose a whole bunch of lap time if you do. It's not missing a front left tyre, but it is very much crumpled in.
Incredibly lucky to be that close to pit lane and can get on with it and put it behind him.
So for now, Ryan Jones on his flyer to this point. This will be his last opportunity. There's no time left to put a lap together. Well, actually, if this is an end lap for Ryan Jones, there will be enough time. There will just be enough time for him. He was up in Sector 1. He was up to the end of Sector 2. And now it's the longest sector of the lap, the fastest sector of the lap. As you tip it in, up and over, the rise and the crest and the fall. Take the curb if you dare. We'll turn it back at the chase. No, it's a pit lane entry lap. There was not enough time. I reckon that slide off the elbows compromised him. A bunch of cars have abandoned. Madison Downs also amongst those. For Marcelo Rivera, Ethan Grigalt's on board car 21. Marcelo Rivera, the main game driver. So another Coe with something to prove. 205.3 for Grigalt, 7th place. That's probably good enough. That is probably good enough to get your way through. The marker probably moves somewhere around a 205.4. That's what is going to be required from a bunch of these guys. For everyone diving to pit lane, this will be one more opportunity. For everyone that takes the end of this lap, they're out of chances. They will not get enough time to put another lap together. McMillan dived to 14.
Ooh.
He's going to have to rely on nobody else improving. 2 more drivers improve. He's back on the outside looking in. Jake Maloney had speed in the co-driver clash last night with his friend Richard Hampstead at the wheel on that occasion. It's coming, Sandman. It's coming. Let's hear the mountain roar.
Yeah, well, all that played out. It was only about 30 seconds ago that Maloney and Burton were actually in the top 15. And then a couple of drivers, before too, I noticed that Madison Down was in 7th. He's now 11th. So where a lot of people thought they might have been safe, a lot of people now have to do some work and get that last lap in.
There's a list of penalties coming our way from qualifying at the end of this as well that will be handed out tomorrow on race day. 10-second time penalties. Will Sapstead, Kurt Stenberg as well. Wayne Burke's also picked up one. Adam Briggs has picked up another. There's about, 6 of them that'll be issued to the drivers when they get to race trim tomorrow that they have to remember to try and take care of and sort themselves out with. 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. You can't dilly-dally on your final out lap, on your final warm-up lap for everyone that's about to throw down at this point in time. Rattray White, a 205.238. That's probably good enough. Here's one of the guys that's on the outer and looking in. This needs to be a barnstormer for Dylan Rudd.
Yeah, he needs to find, you just say, he needs only half a tenth, how easy is that? But that's definitely not the case. So he knows he's got to work cut up for him. He will sniff this that little bit of toe from where he's at, so he might just benefit a tiny bit. But to find that smallest margin just to make the top 15, knowing that this is probably his last chance, the nerves are settling in now.
Well, he's got a 205.482 together. I reckon it's now moved to a 3. A 3 will make you feel comfortable. You'll be in the shootout later on this afternoon. There's handiwork to be done from Dylan Rudd. No, his session's done. He won't be in the shootout. He will not be in the shootout for car 990 in the Chiefs Esports. Now we look further adrift. Jake Burton has it all to do. It won't be this lap. This is an out lap for these guys. They're bringing themselves to temperature. Here comes another one that'll be bringing himself to temperature. No, session's done.
Damage too.
Jake Maloney will not make the session with a 4.23. At the moment, a 4.21 is good enough. And that is a difference of 0.02 of a second. But I do not for 1 second expect that to last.
These guys are all just prepping themselves to get to the start-finish line. We've still got a minute to go. And everyone's just trying to shuffle and find himself that little bit of real estate.
Look at them all. They're too close together. They're too close together. There's 55 seconds left on the timer. These guys will have more than enough time, but they are way, way, way too much together. And this is where the gentleman's agreement breaks down in terms of Formula One qualifying. Everyone's just got to think about it a little bit. Everyone's just going to position themselves as best as they possibly can. Gilliam bails. Gilliam says, I don't need this lap, but he suckered them all in. He suckered them all into thinking he was going to tow them around. And now it becomes that game. Who's going to lead? 30 seconds on the clock. This will count for a bunch of them. Andre Yusuf's just had a spin off the end of turn 1. His session will be done.
Everyone here in this group holding their breath, trying to put together that one last magic lap to get them inside the top 15. Nothing else matters. It doesn't matter if you qualify 12, 13, 14, and 15. You just want to make that cut off, because then you get a chance at the top 15 shootout a little bit later tonight.
That's it. That's what it's all about. It's not a top 10 shootout in this series. We've got 45 cars that start the year, 10 only at the shootout. It would feel a little bit wrong. Too many would miss out. And oh boy, we like to extend the show at the back end of this one. For now though, the mountain is all these guys. As soon as you cross that stripe, the session is done. You've got everything to possibly do. For Brad Ratu, he sits on the outer, but he is only 1.5 tenths away from being in full-on hero mode later on. He will get the track to his the first of that group, if he's able to get it together, if he's able to get to that point. And it looks scruffy across the top. It looks so scruffy up and across the top. And now there'll be a job to do as he sends it back down through the hill, back down through the gears, to pull it up at the dipper, to look for drive out the other side. Have a think about Sapstead that's just in behind as well. Boy, oh boy, wouldn't Revolution iRacing love a driver inside of the 15? And no, it's not going to happen for Sapstead. He'll bail out at the elbow. Cars just ahead of him. There's a couple more cars that are pulling out of that queue. I think that was Sam Blackrock. Sorry, I think it was Tyson Broad that's on board for that car. He's done the best that he possibly can. No higher than 25th. Jake Burton's got a lap to do. Emily Jones, they'll be thinking of discussing this one back at TTR, but they've got 15 or so more seconds to get through before they can do that. The final time through the chase in our 30 minutes worth of qualifying. And oh boy, it's been tight right the way through. This is the final corner that you need to navigate, that you need to put together. Is it going to come up Trumps, or is it going to come up Custard? Jake Burton does improve by the look of things. P17 on the timing tower for now. He won't get there. He won't get there. Ratu's disappointed with himself. He thought there was more in that lap. I reckon that lap was good enough, but it didn't count. The tap across the wall. Josh Horton's down in 34th. He's run out of time. It's all going to be about these next couple of corners. And then I only think we've got one more driver with a lap left to go. And it's Zach Rattray-White. He's P4. There's no way he gets knocked out. And I reckon that's our 15. Ryan O'Sullivan is going to scrape the bottom of the barrel and get in. My word. My word. What a session. What a qualifying session as it pulls to a close. It is Andrew Gilliam who will take provisional pole, and he will know exactly what's in front of him, as he will be the final car to roll off of pit lane. The final driver to attack the mountain for the shootout as he grabs provisional pole. Robbie Gibbs slides his way into P2. He will be over the moon about that one and feeling confident about what they've got in front of themselves. A front row start for the Chiefs Esports will be exactly what they want. Jared Philsell from Zach Rattray-White. Damon Woods will be the 11th car to roll off from pit lane. James Scott finds a return to form up to 6th place. Luke Rosella right in the meat and potatoes of the session, as will be Josh Jansen. Ethan Breed-Galt and car 21, the best place of the co-drivers doing this session for his teammate Marcelo Rivera. Dead heat on time with Brady Myers for 10. Then we get out into the final 5 spots. These sliced and diced in those dying stages. Madison Down will find his way back on in. Deep late into that session, Job Stewart was on the bubble, was outside the bubble, will improve enough to get himself in. As will Cody Deeth, another of the co-drivers for Hayden Veld in 13th. Thomas McMillan proves that he is indeed a Bathurst master in 14th. And Ryan O'Sullivan, the 15th. For everybody else, they're on back. This is where they will start their cars tomorrow. Jake Maloney will be the first in 16th on the outside of row number 16. Jake Burton, Dylan Rudd, Will Sapstead, and Corey Shepherd, your top 20. We get back outside of there, and I'm still trying to catch my breath and cool down just a little bit. Brad Ratu, we saw the anger from car 38. He was not happy. He had a good enough car to slice and dice his way into the shootout, he believed, and that was his disappointment with the lap that you saw is probably the only way to put that one. Wayne Burke in car 89 will start fractionally ahead of car 88 for the big dance tomorrow. Brenton Thompson. Rehan Leonage did a lap in terms of qualifying for car 51. There was some debate about who'd be in that one for car 51 that leads the Endurance Cup and indeed the championship. My apologies, it's second in the championship at this point in time. Ryan Mueller did qualifying for car number 06, also not available was Bo Albert. Lachlan Capel, 26th. Kurt Stenberg, 27th. Tyson Brewer for car 215, the co-driver as well. Adam Briggs and Andre Heimgartner to round out the 30. We'll get out there and beyond to Jordan Mazzarelli from Daniel Poulton. Tom Frere, Josh Horton, that lap was an improvement for car 43. Brad Noonan will have Shane Van Gisbergen on board with him tomorrow, should he make it back home from Richmond Raceway in the States to his simulator in time. So Newman will have to do the start of the race of that, you can be sure. Ryan Jones, Jacob O'Reilly, Sean McNamara did his best in a co-driver effort as well to 38th. Andre Youssef and Hengist Lawford, I had him tipped and written down in my black book as one to watch to potentially get into the shootout, but just not finding the speed on board car 52, got out of sequence and it didn't go his way. Final qualifying attempt from James Chastiner, 41st. There'll be a few more cars to fill the back of the grid tomorrow. But ladies and gentlemen, Logitech G Bathurst 1000 qualifying in the book. The big thing is that the shootout is still yet to come. Before we get there, we're going to take a trip down memory lane. It is going to be Gen 2 and the last of the Ford and the Holden to take the track in anger together before we get into our top 15 shootout. Don't go anywhere. Get your popcorn, get your dinner, get your dessert ready, because we have got a night of action planned for you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
You've always felt it. That spark, that pull. Watching the greats carve through history. Every turn, risk, reward. Now you don't just watch. You step inside. You take the wheel. Together, we're breaking barriers between sim and sport. setting a new standard for performance. So with the power in your palms, the roar in your ears, and the position of a pro, let's turn dream to drive and play to podium. Our legacy, now yours. Welcome to the grid.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we are not just broadcasting all of our main game. We're also going to be taking, like we said, a jump back through history. And we're on board with the Gen 2 chassis and hardware. Ladies and gentlemen, the broadcast is going to be led by Hamish Munro and will be joined momentarily by John Van Ree. I'll be in assisting capacity for this one. But Hamish, your show. You're in charge here, bud.
Yeah, well, you know, it's great to be with you. Obviously, once again, Scott, I mean, you used to be a long time commentator, of course, for Split 1 of Vets, and I've been commentator for Split 2 of Vets now for the last 15 seasons, and it's great to be part of the Pro Series weekend again. Of course, last year I was part of it with the sport category race for the Porsche Cup. This year we get to bring the Gen 2 supercars back to life as well, and it's always fantastic when we get to find rich history in Australian motorsport, especially when we can get the Holden and Ford battle happening once again around the mountain, one which took place across many different years and decades, and also, as well, Scott, across different categories too, through supercars, through Group A's, Group C's, Group B's, whatever it may be. This is a rivalry that lasted many, many decades, half a century nearly did this rivalry last, and it's great to have them back on the mountain once again.
That it is. We're going to take a walk through our grid of the Vets X. My apologies. We're going to take a quick moment to reset for this one because still obviously handling. I think we've actually got qualifying coming our way. Oh no, sorry, my apologies. Qualifying has been run and done. So now for this one, it's going to be Jason Bentz on the front row, lining up alongside of Michael Schreier in P2. Off of the second row of the grid will be Dean Logsdale from Mark Point. It'll be good to see Mark Point after a couple of seasons away. I know he's improving when I was last over there. Simon Haynes and Scott McKenzie will be off of the third row of the grid with a throwback to the Coke Commodore and the WKMP Sim Sports entry. David Coleman will throw a old-timer in there as well, the Perkins Castrol Commodore alongside of Luke Coleman. Chris Blanchard, a man from my hometown, only just on down the road from me, and Sean Vandermeulen will start inside of the top 10. Here we go back outside of there.
Of course, we have Andrew Hoffman, who's been spending a season away from Vets. He'll return next season and returns to the field tonight. He starts alongside race controller Josh Strage on the field here this evening as well. To the seventh row in behind, and that's where we'll find current championship contender in Split 2, Mick Clifton, starting alongside Justin McLean. But we're about to get the revs rising and go green, actually, so we're going to have to skip the grid process and get ready for the race start here. They have gone away and off the line, and it's hot action already at Bathurst. They couldn't contain them for very much longer. They had to let them go because the Gen 2 machinery wanted to fire away in anger as they turn through turn 1 for the first time and up mountain straight for the first of 2 races here this evening. 20 minutes in the first one, Scott, and a 40-minute feature to come our way.
Something just happened in the background of that shot. There's a car around at turn 1 and in the gravel trap, and you can see them all trying to claw their way up mountain straight for the first time. Chaos and calamity happening from the rears. Ford Mustang with a control livery on it. Now there's massive chaos down at turn 2 as well. And they got the braking zone down there. That was Chris Blanchard, who managed to skate his way on through on the inside of Griffin's corner. There's only going to be the top 2 that have managed to get through this unscathed.
That's right, that was Clifton that was caught up in that. I mentioned he's one of those championship contenders this season for Split 2, but this night has not started the way that his season has been going. As he ride with Dave Coleman trying to fight through the mess, as that there is Damon Fisher in the wall. Same with Simon Haynes, one of the Split 1 drivers in the field as well. It's absolute chaos across the top of the mountain as those WKMP cars are trying to take evasive action. There you see Damon getting caught up couple of the Infinity Motorsport cars trying to sneak through as well. This is chaos, Scott Rankin.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, they are everywhere. This is Gen 2 back at its finest form.
Well, you say finest, but it's Gen 2 parking lot, and it might just turn into a Gen 2 junkyard. Up the way this one's going out, there are parts everywhere. Dean Logsdale was one of the heavy hitters for this one. Exceptionally quick. He's got a meatball flag. He's doing his best. That's him right there, trying to get out of everyone's way. Pinch brakes as we get to the elbow. Fixed setups for these guys as well. They're all on the same little bits of hardware. Safety car's been deployed, and after lap one, realistically, mate, we need an opportunity to grab our breath, but I think the drivers need one as well.
I know, I'm not surprised, and thank you, Ed, for the correction there. It is Dean Logsdale as he just tries to limp that car back to pit lane. Absolute chaos and warfare to begin this race, as well as John Van Ree comes in with us too. John, this has been a chaotic start to this race in the Gen 2 cars. This is what we're going to have across the next 2 races. It may be absolute fireworks once again. It's feeling like the chook raffle all over again here.
It is Bathurst. It just brings it out, doesn't it?
It does.
There, backwards in the barriers.
I know. And Mickey Clifton, I mean, he's been the case of pure consistency this season. That's just unlucky. Gets caught up in a moment there with one of those Pro Plumbing Supplies cars. Was that Vandermeulen that clipped him? I think it was. They started around the same place on the grid. Yeah, Vandermeulen, who's been running in and out of race control, in and out of hospital rooms over the last year or so as well. Maybe a little bit rusty after his return season events this season. But yeah, Mick Clifton, that's unfortunate. Same for Andrew Hoffman, who we've seen been away for a while here as well. Jonathan. See him back in the field, but the Pro Plumbing Supplies cars, they might be missing a couple of seals on those things. They're not very healthy today.
Yeah, at this rate, preparing that one for the next round is going to be best off done with a bit of PVC.
Well, they plenty of wall rubbing as well, though. Like, it's just, yeah.
And we're obviously lucky as well, obviously, with the Gen 2 cars. They've now got that new damage model put on them too after the update only a year ago. So these have got a more modern tyre on them as well as that new damage model too. So they will crumble very quickly if they bounce off the wall, as Bentz, who started on pole, has done well here to maintain the lead. Mark Poynton as well, current Split 1 driver previously. Looking forward to seeing him back in the field, possibly for the next season of vets if he does make that return.
The best part is if Chris Blanchard chucks this in the fence, I can go and throw a beer at him on Friday night.
There is another problem for John here. If Coleman finishes on the podium, we're never going to hear the end of it.
DC does do a lot of legwork in the back of house. People don't appreciate how much he does, so you've got to let him have a little drive once in a while.
Maybe he
more
deserves
importantly, the other thing I have to say to you guys is I think the right car's leading the field. I think we should let Dan Hall race this Porsche Cup car. I think it's quicker. Hey, he just lead this field away.
Dan looking very good out there. Can't
He is
complain.
indeed. He is. And I know that through watching, obviously, Split 1 this season as well, he's been in the wars a little bit this season, but he's probably in the safest possible place he could be in today in that safety car. But I reckon he'd be able to run rings around them tonight in that Porsche Cup car, surely. It's got a bit of pace about it. Interested to see what happens off this restart, though. I mean, obviously that was they've gone away in anger so quickly. They've been waiting for this moment to drive the Gen 2 car for now 18 months. What's this restart going to be like? Because is it going to be chaos again? Are we going to be back under safety car again? I mean, what could possibly happen here?
Well, we've only got 15 minutes left in this race, so they've really got to get themselves in order and get going. And it's going to be interesting. The safety car's pulled away here, so Bentsy's going to have control. Bentsy, of course, one of our Split 1 drivers, doing very, very well. And doing some very interesting things here to see what he does.
I'll tell you what, Nathan Farah made a very good point in the chat. No penalties for the vets tonight, so they're just going to go for it. I don't think they're not worried about what race control's going to say to them, because they don't have to worry about their licenses. The license points are not a factor here today, so they don't have to be careful. They can just bomb it in as much as they like, and I have a feeling we may see more of that throughout this race off this restart. Interesting to see when he goes. Obviously, these cars, the drivers will be surprised actually that they have downforce in the Gen 2 car. After being in the Gen 3 for so long. Interested to see when they actually go and how they actually cover off this restart when Jason determines to go green.
And it's not just that too, it's also the slipstream. Something that we haven't had in that Gen 3 car. These boys are in for a mega fight here. So when's Bentzy going to go? He's sitting there, he's thinking about it, he's looking. I'd be going now if I was him.
He may wait for the apex of the last corner.
Coleman all over the brakes there in the background. Watch out for Van der Meulen in this one.
And for those that aren't aware, obviously, for Vets race conditions, the track is, well, about as cold as we can make it for sunny skies as we go back to green flag racing. Jason Bentz will get us underway once again. There is Van der Meulen, the man that was at the question of fault for that initial incident at turn 2 with Mick Clifton previously, as well as we run through single file up the hill once again. Currently, the top 10 stands as Jason Bentz, Poynton, Coleman, Van der Meulen, Blanchard. And we've got Josh Drage ahead of Ullman, Randall, McKenzie, McLean. That is the top 10 made up, majority of split one drivers at this stage.
Keep an eye on McKenzie. He's looking at making a good move. Someone facing backwards.
Oh yeah, that's Darren Goosey.
Goosey.
Yeah, one of the most tenured drivers in the Vets, of course, John. And unfortunately, the experience has not helped him keep that car from going round as Coleman's all over Mark Poynton here up through the cutting.
That's right. Of course, Goosey's done over 250 races in Vets. That's a fair effort in itself.
It's a very, very fair effort.
Yeah. But Coleman, he's tucked right up behind Poynton. He's absolutely trying to keep ahead of Van der Meulen and Blanchard. Keep an eye out for Josh Drage, another one of the guys coming out of RC tonight to come race with us. Luke Allman, the Tasmanian Terrier, he is moving himself forward as well.
And Josh is not going to be giving any room to your fellow townsman there, Scott, of Chris Blanchard. He's getting elbows out. They're having a proper crack together. They've got Luke Allman behind them. Miss Coleman's come off at the dipper.
No! Not DC.
Straight in the wall. Out of the race control booth. And maybe...
I'll tell you what, he's gonna walk back in there and everyone's gonna tell him, mate, stick to race controlling.
Exactly what's going to happen. No, it's not.
Pretty. So we've got the claim with the black flag as well, so he's going to have a drive through coming up. The other man keep an eye out for 11 spots further back is our Group 1 race control man and our chief race steward of the Pro Series, Mr. Greg Pavel. He's up 11 spots in the 7/8 already, so keep an eye on him coming through the field.
Doing a very good job. Last year he didn't get to take part in the support category race. He was in race control, of course, for that Porsche Cup race we had going on, and heavy contact with Dave Coleman.
And did it all himself.
All on his own.
His left rear tyre was lit up before the rest of the dipper.
Oh, there's been a massive moment at the last corner. Will Munro's got loose, and there's been contact as well with some of the fishy cars as they've all tried to get going again. There's Munro trying to save it. That's Matt Monday. And that was very close for Greg Favell. I think he was actually tagged in that moment as well. Oh, that is a mega hit. Was that Mick Clifton again? I think it was.
Ain't enough wheels on the wagon there.
No, Pete Kelleher's off as well. It's all happening at the final corner. Unbelievable showcase.
Kelleher's on the radio, so he's not going anywhere.
No, that's exactly right.
We may have another safety car coming. You wait and see those.
Yeah.
Just 10 minutes to go.
To confirm that.
I've got some good news for you and some extra coverage. Samman has offered to give us his webcam tonight. I told you I'd definitely grab him to cutting. Guess who's just gone through the cutting? Samman, how's the wobbles on the wagon?
Oh, mate, there was an incident. I'm just waiting. I'm hoping there's going to be a safety car because I've got a little bit of damage to the left front.
Good news, we've got a whole bunch of cameras that we can point at your car, and yes, there is damage to the left front corner, mate. The splitter impact there. I can see a lot of rubber on that one. How was the survival mode? And mate, where's the G-Hub graphics? Can you flick us through them whilst you're travelling down the hill?
Well, a little bit busy at the moment, but I can probably get it to you later. But it was good. I think I got myself up into 21st, so I made up 10 spots because everyone else was having a bit of a whoopsie. But unfortunately, that spin that happened in front of me, I just had nowhere to go, and I should have gone left, but I went right. So, a little bit of damage.
I can tell you, safety car's on its way out of pit lane. There is 2 cars destroyed on the right-hand side of the front straight. So stay left on the front straight, or come to pit lane. Those are your options, right?
Yeah, I'm going to come to pit lane because I've noticed I'm pretty short on fuel too. So I'm wondering probably these safety cars are going to help everyone else. But I definitely want to try and fix some of this damage.
Shouldn't be too bad, man. I think you'll be able to fix it and get back out there. Pro Force fresh tyres at it, go hard, and mate, I will judge you severely and make sure that you spend the rest of the night on the
I look forward to it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Scott, in terms of someone having to hear about it, I can give you the inside word that one Will Munro is not going to hear the end of this for causing this safety. I can promise you that right now. He's going to get the words when I walk down the hallway later on to tell him what the hell was that. And don't worry, I'm sure his teammates Shane and Matt are talking his ear off right now, telling him off for that one.
I'm telling you, if he was a WKMP car, he'd be gone.
Well, he had a podium on Thursday, so he's kind of gone. He's leveled himself out again now. That was the moment for Clifton trying to drive through.
Ooh.
Yeah, no wonder. And that there was real Carl Reindler level stuff. But of course, I want to say it was Wanneroo or Eastern Creek many moons ago. Great fireball happened, just moving out of the way at the last moment. But these cars are heavily damaged, and I think we should probably preface here, John, this is not the normal sort of racecraft we see out of Vets. If you want a better example of racecraft out of Vets, once the shootout's over, head over to the Vets channel. Split 2 will be live after this race, so you can come check it out post-shootout tonight and actually see how they go at Sandown for Split 2. Of course, on the Vets channel, you will find Split 4 tomorrow night as well, John, after the after 1000's over and done with.
Yeah, at 8:30 tomorrow night, we Split 4 as well. The first broadcast in a couple of weeks after being away. So good to have that back up and running. And of course, you want to check out a bit more on what's going on with V8 Vets. V8veterans.com.au is the website to go to. Plenty to see there. We race 4 splits on a Thursday night with 50 cars in each split. So we've got 200 drivers registered to race each week. And then, of course, we've got a wait list as well that people can jump on and join. We've got about 25 guys sitting on that waiting to get in to come and race with us as well. So it is a very, very big league and a very, very active league and a very, very good comradeship amongst the guys that race in the league. As you can see, no one's getting too upset here about anyone being punted. That's been both the field is.
Well, one thing we probably should preface as well, the caveat is, at least for 2026, to join Vets, you have to be born at least in 1986. Or prior, have to be 40 years of age.
I'm only 6 years away.
Yeah,
I'm only 6 years away, boy.
I'm only 12 years away. To make you feel old for a minute there, Mr. Rankin. But
And I will say, Jay Kennedy, the last time I raced in a server with you, mate, I won.
that was St. Petersburg, of course, the last season when that happened.
Yeah.
But as we get ready to go green once again, this is going to be an interesting restart, of course. Jason Bentz, Mark Poynton, Sean Vandermeer, and all former or current Split 1 drivers in that top 3. Chris Blanchard, the current highest seeded Split 2 driver. Josh Drake is the highest seeded race controller at the moment. Ullman, Randall, McLean, they're all Split 1. Mackenzie Split 2. Haynes is Split 1. That's the top 10, and that's what it's made up of. As Bentz gets us back to green flag running again. Into pit lane and behind, Justin McLean's coming in his Commodore. As we cross the line again, we start up once again with just under 6 minutes to go here in race 1 this evening. Bent's been very, very strong across the race thus far, and well, he was very, very quick in qualifying. The only car to have done a 2:03. And quite weird to think that all of these drivers qualified, or majority of these drivers qualified, with a faster lap time than the pole sitter of the top 10 shootout for the Pro Series race in a Gen 3 car. That is, to be honest, it's kind of disgusting. These cars are actually faster than the most modern supercars, to be honest with you.
Talking about that though, it is the cards that we are dealt. But it is Bency absolutely moving away here. Poynton, he's tucked in behind. Other big movers and shakers at this time.
Oh no, Hoffy! Who was that with? Was that with Goosey again?
Yep, here's Goose.
Unfortunately for Darren, and I will say this, it's a real shame this season. It has not been a season of Darren Goosey's benefit, I will say. It's a real shame for him this season. A lot of bad luck in Split 2. One that he'll definitely be looking to build towards again. Matt Foo, we ride with him as he comes down through. Once again, there's Wayne Shepherd, former Split 3 champion in the Vets as well. He's just in behind as they battle with Brett Horsell too. As well as Greg Favell in behind them as well. So Favell's going to find a bit of pace here to try and get past some of the main gamers of the Vets as they ride down the hill. black flag penalty going the way of Michael Schreier. Have to drive for the lane.
No. Not Schreier. That's not good. Schreier's in the black flag. He's the one. And of course, Michael does the safety car for the Pro Series. So he would definitely knowing how to get in and out of pit lane at this point. I'll tell you that much.
And I appreciate the chat. Correct to me, it was Wanneroo Raceway, technically Barbagallo, so I appreciate it. Feel correct to me on that one for the Carolina and some other mentions as well. Scott Rankin, of course, you spent the majority of your time in vets with the Gen 2 cars. How does it feel to see him again? Is that was Scott McKenzie getting loose off the last corner? It's pretty surreal seeing Gen 2 machinery though with vets drivers on board them. I know we've seen it sometimes with stock supports, of course, running these cars at times as well, but it's very weird to me to see these cars for the first time in 18 months. It almost feels like an awkward ex that you don't really want to talk to when you see him out and about.
Well, one of the things I was just thinking to myself was, gee, it's good to see Scott McKenzie out on track, and I think he was actually very happy to see the back of me in the commentary booth, because as it turns out, there's one too many Scots in and around the commentating and the racing. Every time I showed up, we tend to find some way to have a car explode basically in front of him, and looking in front of his car, it looks like it's going on tonight. But yeah, you're right. And again, Holden logo versus Ford logo, that's what we're all about. So. But also names that I haven't seen racing in a long time. I'm just like, man, it's good to see these guys racing.
Yeah, and it's an eclectic group of drivers. Some who never drove Gen 2 in vets, and their tenure started in the Gen 3 era, and then others that have been around ever since day dot in season 1 across the 28 seasons as well. There's a car that's just run it wide across Skyline momentarily there. But a lot of drivers. There's Simon Heddersheet.
They're going slowly.
Yeah, going slowly. That's a lot of damage on that car. And that tyre is gone.
Yep. He's in all sorts of trouble and dropping like a stone.
Yes, indeed.
You see a wild Sandman there for 2 moments?
I think we did. I think he appeared momentarily. I'm just looking for him. He is. There he is there, coming into Forest Elbow. He's got a bit of pressure from DC though in behind, so he might start to feel this here. As Coleman keeps the pressure on him down. Conrad straight. Just in front of them, they've got Chris Blanchard.
Look at him.
He's trying to get the draft.
Doing his best Denberg impersonation there.
He's actually sitting right behind, sorry, I will correct myself, he's actually sitting right behind Nathan Cadman as he's looking to make it free ride with Aaron Smith as well. Sandman, is he going to go for it to the inside? Oh, Bill is there for Cadman! Unbelievable stuff! Oh, Smith's the one that ended up off track.
Of course, Aaron, a split forward drive, that would be full on action for him.
I've got a very interesting statistic for you here, John. There's one driver in this field, as we get the white flag, there's one driver in this field that has raced in both support category races in the last 2 years, and it's Aaron Smith. He raced in the Porsche Cup race last year, and he's racing in the Vets race this year. It's good to see some connection between the two of them.
That is fantastic. Aaron, of course, in his second season of Vets this season, and he is doing quite well. And improving every week. This is one of the great things about Vets with the 4 splits. We've got different driving standards. We've got guys that are new to the Gen 3, guys that are new to iRacing, and guys that are just new to sim racing in general. They all cut their teeth and work their way up into the higher splits. But we've got Benty here coming down through the dipper for the final time in this heat race. He'll be happy to be seeing the back end of the mountain as he comes into the elbow. And just behind him in third is Sean Vandermeulen, tucked up behind Poynton. Josh Drage hanging under the back of these guys as well as they go deep into the elbow. Out onto Conrad straight for the final time. What can we do? These boys reintroduced the draft, something they haven't had for a fair while. Let's see if we can get an overtake going into the chase. And we will see what happens coming down the hill into the chase. It looks like Poynton's going to hang on. This is going to be Bentley's race. Poynton and Vandermeulen will hang on, I think, to the podium. Let's see what Drage does. He's going to have a say in this one as well. Vandermeulen covers the inside quite well. Looks like we're all going to get through with a podium finishing this first 20-minute heat.
Indeed, Jason Bentz takes the win. Mark Poynton, Sean Vandermeulen across the line inside of the top 3. Josh Drage will finish ahead of Luke Ullman for our top 5 as well. At the back end of the top 10, Greg Favell up 10 positions into P10. What a drive for the chief race steward there of the V8 veterans, and as well Bit of race control here. And he set the fastest lap of the race on the final lap as well. 2:03.5, unbelievable lap time. There is the DC himself, David Coleman, just trying to sneak around. What could have been for him if not for the lose at the dipper. And, quite good for him if he had held onto it as well. Cars across the line as well. Yeah, it's the worst, isn't it? At least if someone else takes you out, you got someone to blame it on. The only one you can blame it on in that case is yourself. When you end up in the wall and off the track of your own volition as well.
And of course, these boys now do a quick change, jump in for Heat 2. We do a 40-minute race with a compulsory pit stop. So that's going to mix it up a little bit. And we'll definitely see what carnage comes out of this next one. But that is the position we had for Heat 1. Jason Bentz from Mark Poynton. Sean Vandermeulen comes in from Josh Drage. Luke Allman. Christopher Blanchard is in 6th. Great drive from him. Shane Randell in 7th from Infinity Motorsports. Damon Fisher is in there as well, representing Shadow. Simon Haynes in 9th. And Greg Favell, the Chief Steward from the Pro Series, rounds out the top 10.
We also had the likes of Brett Horsell, Matt Fu, Wayne Shepherd, Sean Slater, Brad Hayes for our top 15. Darryl Callaghan ahead of Dean Logsdale, who was in the wars early in that one for LNV Sim Racing. Abel Verben ahead of Scott McKenzie. Will Munro, who we saw have that hellacious moment at the final corner. He will still get inside, though, the top 20 in that race as well. They're all starting to get gridded up here. They've got their 3-minute grid timer to get prepared for race number 2, of course, to come our way. So
21st, Brendan McLean. 22nd, the Great Sandman. Nathan Cadman in 23rd. Dave Coleman in 24th. 25th is Jake Cowman. Ed Cullen is in 26th. Justin McLean is 27th. And Darren Goose is 28th. Andrew Hoffman 29th. And Simon Hedgeshaw 30th.
Quite a few drivers, unfortunately, would have ended their race in pit lane as well. We saw Aaron Smith, Pete Kelleher, Matt Monday, Michael Schreier, and Mick Clifton all in the wars tonight as well. There we see our race controller, Brett O'Brien, with the safety car driver, Dan Hall, down there too. They also had Ed Cullen in the session with them as well, helping out too with what's to come for race number 2 here, John. It's going to be intense as ever. 40 minutes. The grid is starting how they finished in race number 1. That compulsory pit stop to come as well. Could be a race of strategy masterclass for those that pick it right, and for those that pick it wrong, could end up on the wrong end of the tower.
Man to watch, I think, is Greg Favell. Bency, keep an eye on him. He did pretty well on that first one. Vandermeulen found his feet there towards the end, going a bit further down the back out of the unlucky ones. Andrew Hoffman, expect him to come fighting through the pack. Michael Schreier, he will be there and about. And, of course, no one can rule out the Great Sandman. Expect him to move forward. He will be another one to keep an eye on, I think, in this race.
I'm sorry, did you say move forward? I think we should just focus on just getting him moving. That might be the first. We'll talk about moving forwards afterwards.
Well, I'm hoping he's going to move forward and not in reverse.
Well, I got bad news for you, actually, on him. He's starting on the kink. He's actually starting on the bend, so he's probably got the worst lineup of a lot of them.
Oh, no. That's not the start that he'd want, of course. A couple of drivers haven't actually started on the grid just yet. They're waiting to the very last second to get out there, I believe. Yeah,
in tactics, I believe.
Probably. No, and he's just a bit slow, to be honest with you. He's always a bit slow to the ball. There he is. Now he's on the grid. So we're just waiting on Scott McKenzie for the final 30-odd seconds here of this race as well. Very interested to see what the strategy is going to be like tonight, John, as well. Obviously, starting fuel will be a factor in this one to determine when they should come in to take that compulsory pit stop as well. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw some early stoppers just to get out of the traffic a little bit and set themselves up for some clean air and clean running throughout this race, knowing the carnage that we saw in race number 1. As the revs start to rise, we'll get ready for green flag running. Bentz on pole again, Poynton and Vandermeulen in behind him. Who is going to dominate the mountain for 40 more minutes? How many more safety cars? Is it going to be carnage filled? Time will tell as revs are up. And the mountain roars for Gen 2. Holden versus Ford. 40 minutes to come our way. A lot of cars lined it up further down the order, and it was a hot start for Mark Poynton into turn 1. Bent has to cover him, though. See as well, already entering Simon Haynes with a good run already at 2. Matt filling off the light rail. There is one of those Accelerate Sim Racing cars. Was that Mick Clifton?
Yeah, it was Mick Clifton, and I also did see Sandman in the middle of that as well. Oh, there's cars everywhere again.
Absolute carnage once again up the mountain. Sandman was caught up in that. There he is in the wall. Oh, and
Twice.
and the sandcastle has come crumbling down in a matter of meters. Unbelievable. Rankin, you've been given all sorts of ammunition for tomorrow now.
And Cavell.
Did you see the look on his face?
He's not happy. Oh, for Val, yep.
In the wall at Griffin's
Yep.
as well.
Yep,
So,
heavy
it
damage.
is.
I was actually watching that one. They were 3 wide where Greg Favell was, all the way up Mountain Straight, and they were basically on the left-hand side of the road. He was nearly 2 wheels in the grass. Man, the left rear on this thing's basically barely attached. Chris Blanchard was in the middle. I didn't actually catch the car on the right-hand side, but they were basically leaning on him as they entered, and, 3-1 at Griffin's is tough at the best of times. Didn't come.
The other car was in, just to confirm, I believe. I'm trying to get a shot of the car actually. I think it might have been. It was Damon Fisher actually. Damon Fisher, who was involved in that one with them. So just to confirm for me. So, well, that was another incident. Actually, I've just seen that back. But wondering now, John, if we're actually going to take the car. No, they don't.
Everyone's welcome. So.
Oh, that's true. They are. Oh,
Yeah, they are.
inter-team contact.
Yeah, look at that. Sandman
Yeah.
there in trouble.
Yeah.
Coming around. He gets it going, gets on the gravel there. There's gravel everywhere.
Oh,
and
that gravel's going to be a case to watch.
Yeah.
Throughout this race now as well, so that's going to be one thing to keep an eye on. So just to confirm as well for obviously us and viewers at home as well, John, for compulsory pit stop rules, normally in vets you have to wait until the commencement of lap 2. Is that the same case this evening for these drivers? Okay, so that means we should not see pit stops until the end of this lap now, as we have commenced lap 2. Black flag penalty going the way of Wayne Shepherd, Fishy Motorsports Wayne Shepherd at 313. He'll have to come through pit lane. See as well some tight battling here. There's Shane Randall, his former teammate in Finley Motorsport, trying to chase down his good friend Simon Haynes as he gets past Damien Fisher as well. This is going to be a good inter-split 1 battle. Although Chris Blanchard of split 2 maybe hoping to sink his teeth into this one as well. Maybe prove a point that he could get back to split 1 at some stage. It's been a couple of seasons between drinks for him in the top level of V8 veterans.
He's going to have next season to fresh himself up.
Are you talking about Blanchy? Well, he's having this season off of hockey as well, I can tell you, because he's half the reason I signed up to play, and now he's abandoned me, so...
So this would have been Wayne Shepherd's incident. So this is actually the cause of that incident at turn 1. So it wasn't Clifton, it was actually Brad Hayes.
Hayes in there, yeah.
Hazy. So and that's been caught up in that. One of the newest Accelerate Sim Racing drivers, only joined the team a few rounds ago. In fact, unfortunately, him at the start of this race has not gone nearly as well as what race 1 went for him as well. This battle though continues on, led by Randall, and then footed up by Brett Horsell, Logsdale and Slater in behind them as well. Here's Blanchard, driving very, very well. He's had a couple of great performances previously in Split 2. One maybe to actually watch tonight at Sandown just quietly there, Mr. Rankin, so maybe keep an eye on that one later on after the shootout. But ultimately, he's having a great run here today. There is Nathan Cabin, who's an honorary WKMP Sim Sports driver tonight on board Blanchard's retro livery. He's sharing the paint job today. So he gets to chase down Michael Schrader's up ahead of him as well.
Schrader quite well. There you go. There's a wall there.
And
There's another wall there.
Yeah, that would be our cabin damage on board that car.
Lady McCarran scratches it. That's great.
I was going to say, does he get charged for that now? Does he lose
absolutely.
bond for renting that car?
Absolutely.
Dude, logs down the pressure. I'll tell you what, I love the sight of Sean Slater's car if we get a shot of it at some point. It's the classic Holden look of an animal with a helmet, but this time it's actually a unicorn, so I think it's very creative for Sean Slater's.
Sean's quick forward driver running under the old Henry James Racing logo, livery too. He's been with the team for a very, very long time. Of course, that is the old unicorn that they used
They
to
should bring it back.
HJR. Yeah.
Gotta bring it back. Bring back the unicorn.
In a long time.
Yep.
The old days of scraps of that. It's great to see Sean out there. Sean, one of the classic guys in Split 4, rocks up 15 minutes to go in practice and then takes time in quality and then usually races very hard to
The gentleman's racer. Sean Slater.
One of the great things about vets is we've got guys that time poor, the big setup as well, which makes life very easy for them. We've got guys that are time poor, and then we've got guys that can just rock up and race, and we've got other guys who do something like 2,000 laps during the week of practice to get ready.
Hello, Mr. Chapman, doing your 1,000 laps every week.
But it's a league that, hang on to it, Sean, don't do that.
Oh, no.
That is on me. Yep, that is on me.
You see everyone's just trying to take the
Avoid
evasive
it.
action as well, but I mean, and this is kind of then true to the form of the mixed grid of vets as well, obviously, with the 4 splits, 200 drivers, but then also the different backgrounds that everyone shares, the different places that they come from. It is truly an Australian-wide and international series, of course, with New Zealand-based drivers and even American-based drivers in the series as well, as Slater was just clipped there on the way through. But yeah, it is a melting pot of cultures amongst that field of drivers of old iRacing, drivers of new iRacing, drivers who've got plenty of supercar experience, and drivers who've got little to none in supercars experience as well. And then, as you said, those who put preparation in, they're normally in the higher splits. Those who are the gentleman drivers who show up on the day, normally in those lower splits, but they have just as good racing as everyone else, and it is absolutely spectacular. And it's a privilege to be a part of. I mean, I've been a part of it now for 15 seasons. Obviously, there's a lot more people out there who've been in it longer than I have. And I've still got 12 years worth of seasons to go until I could even race them if I wanted to, John. So I'm sure by that point, Vets is going to be, to your behest, 10 different splits and 500 drivers.
Oh, it's quite interesting to start talking about that. Like we've got guys that are literally knocking on the door 10, 40 minutes a race, right up there. We've got 2 boys in the league, 72 and 74. So, we'll still be racing at 74. I'd be pretty chuffed.
Well, think about how competitive this is going to be. Obviously, we're on the weekend of the Pro Series. Bathurst 1000, of course, end of the Enduro Cup, with final series coming our way very shortly as well for the Pro Series. Think about what it's going to be like when those Pro Series drivers are of Vets age, and if they decide to race in Vets when they're up in Split 1, and how much that's going to offset the pace and the adaptability of the whole field of Vet. It's going to be completely different, and it's going to be one where it's going to evolve, as Vets often does evolve, as you see the locking of brakes in towards the Forest Elbow there, keeping on board here with the likes of Luke Ullman, who won at this circuit earlier in the season in Split 1 actually, in round 1 of the season, so he is of winning pedigree at this circuit and carries the momentum in comparison to the other drivers around him. But yeah, this is a league that as the generation of supercars drivers gets older and older, it's only going to get more and more competitive.
Exactly right, and that's the other thing you're talking about, these pro drivers that are coming. We've got a few pro drivers like Sean McNamara and Jordan Ross and Wayne Walker that are already racing in this series, and those guys are doing very well in Split 1. And I'm just going to mention the first time I met a certain driver of the 777, Mr. Madison Down, the first thing he said to me was, "Vets is on my bucket list." And he's counting the years down. He's literally keen to get Vets into his trophy cabinet, so it is really impressive.
Of course, we're less than a decade away from Madison Down being within the Vets drivers list. Obviously, he's been a part of the community with helping with setups and stuff previously as well. Been giving tips like that. And the same with the likes of Jake Burton as well, obviously. So there's some very, very quick drivers, young drivers in comparison to Vets, who are hungry to get involved. And you know, we know Vets has been going on a long time. When winner of the co-driver clash, Rehan Leonard can sign up for Vets because he's 24 years away. So we know we've been going for a while when that happens. But yeah, that's going to be a very interesting future for V8 veterans to come, of course, as well. We are only 10 minutes into this race. It is actually kind of just flown by, to be honest with you. But the fact that we're only 10 minutes in, without the safety car at this point, and all the carnage we had on lap 1 proves that the Gen 2s can go fast, and they can battle fast as well. It's right here with Shane Randall in behind Chris Blanchard, former Split 2 champion, Brett Horsell as well, who went up with Shane into Split 1 in the same season. Both of them had a cracker drive that season as well. Shane, the only driver in Split 2's history to win the championship without winning a single race. Still yet to get his first race win in veterans, mind you. Had a great race here at the Mountain earlier in the season in Split 1, did Shane as well. Brett's been doing well up in Split 1 as well for Player 1 Racing, right on board with him down Mountain Straight towards the chase once again. And the pressure that's on board these drivers to perform as Randall looks to the inside, not quite close enough to send it up the inside of Blanchard here. We've got a little bit of a inter-commentary team battle here, John. You get to support Blanchard, I get to support Shane. Whoever comes out on top is the one that doesn't have to buy the beers, I think, is what we're going to decide on this one. But it's going to be a good battle between them, it looks like.
Shane's definitely putting a lot of pressure on Blanchy. I know Blanchy absolutely loves Bathurst, so I think I'm quite happy putting my money on him at the moment. Of course, don't forget you've got Point and Vandermeer and Bent's well ahead of those guys. A few other guys making a few moves. You've got Simon Haynes back in 6th, he's up 3 spots, tucked up behind his team Rage, and definitely go a little bit further back. Simon Heddershield is up 16 spots now into 14th. So there's some movers and shakers.
Caught the curb, did Randall. Opens the door. He wasn't happy. He's flashing the lights. I think he thinks Blanchard squeezed him then.
I don't think it was that much.
I don't know. We have to have a look at it from a couple angles just to check, I think. Didn't look like it. But maybe it was netcode. Maybe he thought there was contact. This is, here comes Cabman though. He had a moment here. We've already seen him in the course tonight. Again, he's on board that loaner WKP car. He's already down about $100,000 and he might be down about $500,000 if this thing's ruined for him. As he comes through the chase, follows in behind Wayne Shepherd. We've got Matt Money behind him. Got caught out the curb and he's done a Garth Tander and put it straight in the wall. Oh.
At least there's entry in the pits.
Well, that's right. And at least for you, John, your body's got a little bit heavier as well, as he's just had to pay the bill for that one. As this battle continues on for V2 as well. Vandermeulen now up into P2. He's gotten past Mark Poynton. We've got Ullman on the back of them. Josh Drage is involved in this one as well. Simon Haynes, who's been really full firing up in split one as of late. Been having some great runs previously and a good race on Thursday night at Sandown. Continues to impress for WKMP Sim Sports to Simon.
All these South Australian drivers we've found.
I know. So many South Australians seem to be joining the league more and more now. I have to wonder how Mr. Shane Patterson's feeling with Sean up in P2 at the moment, if he feels that maybe a little bit jealous of this, or maybe he's feeling that Mark should give the Dutch punter a bit of a lesson up in P2 at this point.
I think that'll be a very, very big cheer squad for Sean up there. Sean has spent a long time helping Pato with coaching and getting him up to speed. Doing quite well in split 3 this season, Pato. After a great season last season in split 4. The age of that, he's under all sorts of pressure here from Luke Allman. Of course, the Tasmanian terror, he's absolutely keeping the pressure on these boys. Ragey doesn't spend much time in the rig these days, so enjoying actually driving. Which really up in the replay with Hoffy. He's done it himself as well.
And I tell you what, this car, it's been a long time since this car has been ran in those colours. Last time it was run was in a Sandown 500 in the literal last week of Gen 2. And unfortunately, luckily for Hoffy at least, it's a sim racing car, so it's not actually going to cost him an arm and a leg to fix it, but still, it was a real life historic race car. That would be a very expensive bill to pay. This battle continues though, with Drage and Ullman in behind him, Haynes as well, and the battle that is starting to form inside of the top of the sticks. But Haynesy's got pace here, and proving that he's got the pace as well, and really proving that from the days of Gen 2 when he was racing in vets in Gen 2 compared to now in Gen 3, how far he's truly come. Same can be said for Sean Vandermeulen. Both of those drivers, probably two of the most improved and experienced drivers in the whole field to go from the bottom level of vets to the very top in terms of competitiveness and being in and amongst the top split of V8 veterans here in season 28.
Done very well. Blanchard and Horschel still under a bit of pressure there. Randall hasn't managed to get his way back past. Abel Verban, another one who's worked his way up through the splits, tucked up behind those boys. Justin McLean, another one of the Dutch plumbing outfit on LMB Sim Racing. He's tucked up behind one Will Munro, looking to make him noise. He's going to go to pits.
Yeah, smart move.
Play.
Smart move, although there's actually a bit of damage on the front of that car, so I have a feeling that may be the reason why he's coming in at this stage of course. Hopefully the other drivers do remember that they do have to do their compulsory pit stop at some point. I'd hate for them to have forgotten. But I think because the field has actually now spread out a little bit, probably okay as Randall looks to get by on Horsell once again, and he's back ahead of him now. Probably not too bad that they've actually gone this long, because they've still got the clean air, they've still got the fair amount of track around them to push on, and no one really holding them up too much. But the battling we're seeing is absolutely unbelievable as Fisher, McLean, Kelleher, Shepherd all into pit lane for their compulsory pit stop in this race.
Yeah, they're starting to see a few guys make a few moves here. Of course, we've only got another 24 minutes to go. So just about at that halfway point. So if we're going to split the tyre strategy, now would be the time to be thinking about it. Particularly if you're sort of tucked up a little bit there, like Shane, you might be thinking an undercut and he might get himself back in front of, rephrase that, Horsell, might get himself back in front of Randall and then Blanchard as well if you do an undercut and sort of, dance with your fuel strategy a little bit, fuel numbers, maybe bank on a possibility of a safety car. Not that we've seen one yet this race.
Well, actually, we've got a car parked up around this corner. That's Aaron Smith there to the right-hand side of screen in the wall in the Ronin Motorsports entry. There he is there, the privateer in this field. Unfortunately for Aaron, I think he's waiting for the traffic to come by before he actually backs it back out on the road. There he goes.
Safe and sound there.
Again, yeah. The car's still rolling, of course, as well. So we should see some more pit stops to come as Josh Strage continues to pressurise the back of Mark Poynton's Frogleaf Juice Racing Commodore. Of course, during the Gen 2 era, Mark didn't actually drive the Commodore. He drove the Mustang during his time in Gen 2. He made the change over to GM when Gen 3 came around for the Camaro. For the Camaro. He's now gone back to drive the Commodore to keep his GM allegiance, it seems. Gen 2, sorry. So this was the moment for Aaron Smith up and around Forest Elbow. Stay for him out here, and then forward driver clips the wall, ran it too wide. Unfortunately, he actually clipped out of the wall, which was good to see. But not the first time around. He did actually clip that wall there as Haynes continues to put this pressure on Coleman up the hill towards cutting once again.
Very racy.
Yeah, very racy. And then very confident is Haynes. He spoke to him post-race on Thursday. He was very confident and happy with his performance after a few weeks away, and that's really reset him. Almost greased him back up again to get the gears moving at full pace once more and getting the brain firing on full cylinders as Ullman nearly scrapes the wall back there at the grate.
I reckon
I think there definitely was. Matt Monday now has been through pit lane as well for his compulsory pit stop in this race. To continue to fire on through the dipper as well. We are only just about at the halfway point of this one. Top half of the field have not taken their pit stops as yet. Bottom half of the field have. Safety car comes out. What sort of pressure is that going to put on them? And what sort of pressure is that going to put on the strategies of these drivers tonight? Would not expect to see tyre changes. Because, of course, you wouldn't really get much benefit out of the fresh tyres, knowing that they can actually run so long on the Gen 2 car thanks to the downforce. But we may see someone try and risk it for the biscuit if we do see the Porsche safety car back out on circuit again.
That's exactly right. The other one to keep an eye on here, I think it's the bloke sitting back in 17th called Dean Logsdale. He pitted on lap 4, so he's got that pit stop out of the way. So is Damon Fisher, so is Michael Schreier and Justin McLean. So keep an eye on those boys. They could be a surprise package now, as it is definitely Mark Poynton sitting in front of Allman and Haynes. So he's got to probably get a little bit of wriggle on as well. Haynes is thinking about maybe stopping next lap so he can get an undercut done. That's one of the great things about Bathurst. Pull an undercut off, you absolutely get the benefit when you're working across the top of the mountain.
Is a premium, absolute premium when you make it work for you. And if you were to take fresh tyres, obviously fresh warm tyres, as Hedesheed has been speeding through pit entry, so not what he wanted coming into pit lane, and he is the biggest mover tonight, but he's about to lose a bunch of positions as this may end his race for him. It does hurt for Hedesheed. As Drage exits pit lane, we go back to the battle though with Poynton, with Ullman and Haynes in behind, continuing this battle. We saw Haynes, he just flashed the lights for a moment there, maybe trying to put him off a little bit. Ullman not wanting to get as close to the wall as previous time by. Across the top of the mountain towards Skyline once again, as they dip back down the gears, try and get it down to second for the dipper to come your way and tip it on through. Just keep yourself in line and in check, and they've done well to miss the wall through there. Goosey in a pit lane now as well. Another one of the stoppers.
Big lock-up.
Big lock-up.
Oh, Poynton's going to be dancing out the heat in that front tyre now. Let's see what Allman can do. He's tucked up behind. Is he going to get this draft, get it done? I don't think so. I think we're seeing Haynes drop back a little bit here as well. So I think he's got away with it. These three guys are locked in a great battle for second, third and fourth. Blanchard's a further 18 seconds back, 6 seconds back on these guys now, so he's dropped back out of that battle. This is definitely the split one boys now coming to the front. Jason Bentz with their fastest lap time. Oh, all three of them in together. Oh, this is going to be a pit stop battle and a half. Do you take a second or two less, get this done or not? That is the question.
Well, this is a money stop, as Randall will now lead Blanchard and Horsell in as well. So which one of these is not like the other? Only one of them, Chris Blanchard, the only non-split one driver in that top half of the field. There is Vandermeulen for that top end battle. He's trying to chase him down. He's actually managed to gap Josh Drage through that pit stop period as well. So interesting to see who exits pit lane. Of course, Jason Bent should leave pit lane in the race lead, but who is going to leave it in P2? Is Vandermeulen going to jump them? Is Poynton going to return to second place? Who right on board with him through the final corner and down the start-finish straight as well. They've all dropped in pit lane. Poynton's looking to go for exit. Ullman's jumped Poynton in pit lane. Vandermeulen's got them all. Although, is he going to get Ullman on the exit? It's going to be side by side up the hill. Vandermeulen, the undercut master, has worked for the Dutch plumber to hang on to P2. Ullman, though, what a jump to get past Poynton. Will now line up on the podium for the Tasmanian Terror after his race win in round one of the Vets earlier this season. What a way to back it up if he could finish on the podium tonight in the feature race.
Oh, he's absolutely king of the mountain at the moment. He's got himself right into his podium. And Poynton, he's got himself in front of Drage in front of Haynes. So it's going to get interesting. Logsdale has a pit right. He's up 10 spots in 7th. So that early stop for him has paid off big time.
As indeed. But did those guys take tyres? They all roughly took 20-second stops, and that says to me they did take tyres. So is their tyre stop going to work better than for Logsdale, who looks to have only taken fuel on his last time through, but although 17.93 seconds, that would still cover a set actually, so maybe he did actually take some. Randall has managed to actually really jump ahead, by the way, of Horsell and Blanchard. Horsell also actually jumping Blanchard in that stop as well, so pretty significant loss of time there for Blanchard and his run through pit lane, unfortunately for him. There's Jason Bentz, race leader. What a run tonight. Race one, race winner. Pole sitter on the evening. And just trying to fight his way forward here as well. A couple of drivers, though, are getting caught up with some lap traffic here, John. This is starting to become a factor for them in terms of holding on to their gaps that they've got to the cars behind them that they're battling around.
Exactly right. Only got 16 minutes left here. So anything is possible to still happen. They've got Luke Norman, I think, making for race control there. And so still plenty of action to unfold here. Horsell is only 16 seconds up on where he wanted to be. So Blanchard's got back in front of him. Just going to say that Randall stopped for 20 seconds. Blanchard basically stopped for 22 seconds. So that was the difference in the pit lane there. So
just quickly, John, sorry. We've got Ed Cullen actually stopped on the side of Conrod Straight. Just out of Forest Elbow. So the regular race controller is parked up on the side of the road and is not going anywhere. Could we see the safety car? No, they've towed him back. So
yeah, he's full side requested. That's great. That one, I think. Great move there by our great race control team we have in tonight. The great Brenton O'Brien, Jordan Ross, and Dan Hall, of course, sitting in the safety car doing a great job. And that's one of the things with Vets we have.
Sorry, I've just seen Wayne Shepherd has had a massive ride through the final corner. Sorry, that was a huge moment where he's actually caught some air. I do apologise for the cut over there, but this will be one to watch. Is that someone in the wall? Was that Pete Kelleher? No, Sandman got through. It was Kelleher who's gone into the wall.
Sandman might have just given him a little bit of a love tap.
Did he shove him? Oh, surely if he did, we've got to tell Scotty if he's done this. Let's watch this back.
Oh, here we go.
He's looking up the inside. No, he did it on his own. Yeah, he just finished him off. He gave him the finishing move.
Sandman's a pretty clean driver. Yeah.
Oh, but that was definitely a very, very close one. Sandman, welcome back in. Bit of a pucker moment for you, though, through the final quarter and behind Pete Kelleher. Was there contact or was it there? Looked like you finished him off, though.
I felt bad because I saw there was a car off in front of us, so I tried to check up, and then I thought he was getting on with it, and I did get back into the throttle, and I tried to miss him, but I didn't mean to hit him, and yeah, I feel bad.
long way from season 8 of vets when you first raced with us, Sam.
Yeah, I got my work cut up for me tonight. I had a ripper start in this race, and then all hell broke loose at turn 1, and unfortunately I got in the midst of it, and unfortunately there hasn't been a safety car, so I'm a long, long way back. But having a bloody good time.
Oh, behind you's just gone.
Luckily for you, Sheppo's just gone in behind you. Unluckily for you, though, Sam, man, Rankin's got lots of ammunition for you tomorrow. So there may be some comments coming from Scott Rankin. Unfortunately, we cannot control him. But we're contractually obliged to warn you that he has got some ammunition.
And you were talking about that pucker up with lap 1, turn 1. We were on the cam at the time as well.
Oh, so you almost had the best seat in the house. I reckon I did, but it wasn't that great. I was spewing.
You weren't too happy.
I was just like, because I got a great start. I'd actually made up, I think, 2 or 3 spots the start, and came around the corner, and it was messy, but it's been a good race. I'm hoping the race up front is good for you guys, because it's really cool that we've got a support race for this weekend for Bathurst.
And there's been some great racing across the whole field, so it's been really good. Yep. Oh, coming on us. Safety car. We've got a safety car.
Oh, we do indeed. Oh, so I'm trying to see what's happened to all of that. I think it was actually Sean Slater who had an incident. Although he's actually just had it on his own, so that's actually the final corner. So it wasn't Sheppo's. What, maybe? No, he's still going. Okay, so...
Is this a competition caution?
It shouldn't be.
Didn't have one scheduled, but it could be. It could still be safety car was called and then someone got themselves going again. There is a car very, very slow there on the exit lane. It's a safety car. Probably.
Oh, yes, quite possibly. They might have given him it. They might have given... might have been listening to Sam Mann's call for a safety car, possibly. And that might have then been the case. But this shouldn't have caused a safety car, though. But you can see all the debris that's down there off the gravel. Oh, and actually, the one that I'd love to see again is actually Sheppo's moment in the last corner, because it was very wild. He did get airborne only a few laps ago. But all the focus, unfortunately, went to Sam Mann for his incident. Just moments later, but that was a heavy contact. And that car has got very heavy steering damage.
Sean Slater.
Yeah, Sean Slater, unfortunately. We mentioned how good the car looks, and unfortunately it doesn't look so good now.
That front right's not pointing in the right direction.
No, definitely not. So there is a little bit of field decontamination about to happen as well. There's some lap cars that are in this field having to come past, including Andrew Hoffman, who's just been giving his way around. This was Wayne Shepherd's moment. Massive compression lock. And then got the high jump silver medal in the green-eyed monster. And that's how all that debris came back on circuit and dragged all that gravel back on. And then in behind was the moment with Callahan and Sandman that we focused on before. So a massive wild moment in that corner. But we can see that this has now helped the field recompress back up again. Means all of a sudden 10 minutes to go, we're going to have a hotly contested battle for the race win and what may be a very chaotic end to this race.
I've got some fun facts for you as well, boys, whilst we're under this safety car. I've actually just taken a little bit of a wander up and down pit lane, chatted to a few teams about their shootout cars, about their race cars for the 1,000 tomorrow. But one of the things I did do was I dropped into the Eclipse Simsport Lounge, and they were all sitting back there and relaxing and actually genuinely having a good time. But more importantly, they were actually watching this race and discussing it amongst themselves and thoroughly enjoying it. And the other questions they had for me was, with how do you get into the series, which you guys have already covered off, have to be 40 or over. How many splits of drivers, which shocked and surprised them that you guys are capable of not only 4 splits of drivers, but also a strong waiting list. Not normally running around in the Gen 2 hardware, they do run up to date in Gen 3s, but also some of the settings. Like, for those of you watching along at home, it is rather difficult to drive these cars. They are genuinely considered the toughest cars on the sim to drive. We have 40-plus-year-old drivers with a mix of disabilities and ages, and there are guys... What's the oldest driver currently registered for Series, John?
74.
74, so up to 74 years of age driving on the sim. So what we do is we actually try and take things away from these drivers and try and make it a little bit more simple and get everyone a little bit closer together. Fixed setup, and the track temperatures are nice and stone cold. And that just takes some of the edge off the car. The cars that we actually have to drive in the setup with the fixed series, it's a little bit easier to drive, a little bit more wing. It's designed to be a nice stable platform. It does take away from the peak speed of the car in that aspect. So it's not the quickest things. It's not going to be matching the guys that we're going to see out here in Gen 3 hardware. But what it does do is, it takes away some of the complexity that drives. It creates a platform for all these guys to drive it. Is that DC?
Yeah, it is. It's Dave Coleman.
Oh,
100%,
DC. DC.
If anyone was going to do it, it was going to be one of the heads of brakes control. Who was going to have it as another safety car. But,
Just going back.
We want to get ammunition for DC shortly, but
Just going back to what you're saying, Scott. Yeah, we have. Look at iRacing. Gone green already. That's mucked around.
Bensie's got this underway again.
Yep. I was going to say, yeah, we've got 4 splits, fixed setups. We've got race control in each split. And Tim Speed do the split 1 broadcast on Thursday nights, and then the other 3 splits we do a replay broadcast in varying standards and qualities. Well worth a watch, well worth getting involved. And yeah, that's we do have a wait list. But if you are a younger driver, we've got guys that have spent a year or 2 doing race control. Our race control guys get to walk straight in above the wait list. It's one of the great things we do at the league, and it's a really, really good environment. Comradeship. I'm off to Brisbane start of next month for lunch and dinner with a few of the boys. I think we've got 20 odd blokes in Brisbane coming dinner at the Brecken Creek Hotel in early September.
Early September? I'm not trying to follow away to Brisbane. That's not too far away from me.
Yeah, so we get a good roll up to that. And I've done the same thing in Adelaide, Melbourne. Yeah, get good numbers everywhere. That's
but I think one of the
community.
biggest things to mention is the camaraderie. The amount of guys that are on Discord, and not all of them are tech spec guys or anything like that. They don't actually know a whole bunch about it. Well, if you're interested in getting into racing, then the best way to get about it is, again, there's a few guys in there that are absolute wizards with PCs and getting things set up and budgets and how to get a rig and that sort of stuff together. And then, the community will help get you started, and then you're off in sim racing. If you're a car enthusiast and, beyond the age of 40 or getting quite close to it as well, getting around the Discord, start learning beforehand, because it's genuinely one of the best ways to go racing. And the other biggest benefit of it is there's basically a progression pathway. You'll start at the back end of split 4, is there's a massive amount of smoke down at the elbow, and work your way forwards.
That's right. We've got pro drivers, fathers that have gotten involved in racing as well. So the likes of Darren Freer, Tom Freer's old man, he's got involved in sim racing now and races with us. Yeah, it's been a really good mix of drivers. As we say, these guys bunched up.
They're all going at it. That was contact. That was Randall into the back of Dean Logsdale down at the chase. Unbelievably close moment. And they're 3 wide now down towards Murray's corner as Horsell battles it out here as well. McLean, that was Randall in the fence. Randall's in the fence with Logsdale, so that didn't end. That kept going. And it ended up with both of them in the wall. Unbelievable. One thing I will say is, Scott, and first of all, hello to the Eclipse crew. Hello, Job. I met Job at Sandown last year. Great to have a chat to him as well. I know he's racing with those boys this weekend. After the shootout, I said it earlier, come and check out the Splits race after that shootout happens, because it is going to be a long one, because it is 250 k's. We're starting at 9 p.m, so you will have time to come check it out before the race ends. That's how that happened down at Murray's corner. Logsdale losing under brakes and straight into the back of Randall down there as well. And then, tomorrow night, when you're looking to rest up after the 1000, go watch John and Split 4 over on the Vets channel as well. You'll be able to catch all that action too. So, 2 long 81-lap races at Sandown, 2 different skill levels, 2 different splits.
There may have been some rain as well.
Yeah, there may have. It may be a wet race in Split 2.
It's in Melbourne. No, that doesn't happen.
Maybe one race in Split 2, and it may be one for Chris Blanchard fans to watch, where he may have actually had a very good result. I'm not going to spoil it.
I'm not tuning in tomorrow. That way I can claim I never saw it.
Well, no, it's tonight. That's the thing. Right?
Oh,
it's after
yeah.
the shootout. So. Oh, it's Ullman! Ullman around! And in the wall, the Tasmanian Terrors had an absolute nightmare at Forest Elbow. And now struggling to get it turned around. Needs to be careful not to back it into the way of traffic.
Oh, he has definitely done very well to get that back on track.
He has. Luke Ullman. Former 266 driver, now racing for Shadow Racing. formerly of Team AJR as well, as we see side by side down the hill. Massive move for position from Michael Schreier onto Matt Fu. Fui's trying to come back at him here as best he can. And behind them, you got the likes of Matt Monday fighting with Greg Favell and Mick Clifton, who's been in the wars tonight. Accelerate Sim Racing, very experienced in being in the wars here at Bathurst, of course. One of the OSR 12 hours we saw Greg Favell on the wall at turn 2 after heavy contact with the rain a few years ago. So they're no strangers to what the mountain can offer them, as Favell will get past Matt Fu. Looks to go up the hill there. Mark Poynton, though, under pressure here from Simon Haynes. The kid, no longer the kid.
Oh,
He is
Drage.
now the master, and Drage trying to get involved with him as well.
I'll tell you what is at WKMP. Dragey absolutely stinging it in there. Haynes attacks him behind again. And he's dropped it back. I think that might be Blanchard.
Yes,
One
it
of
is.
the L&B cars tucked up behind him, Justin McLean, yourself. So they have battled hard through this group here, and there's been a bit of contact a bit down back. We'll get to that one in a second, I think. Like
Sure, yeah, we will.
accelerate cars, there it is.
Oh,
Yep.
and Favell, after
Favell.
the comeback of dreams in this race, after the lap 1 contact. Oh, and massive contact with DC. It's an inter-RC combination up at the top of the hill. Unbelievable stuff. I'm sure they're laughing. Oh, and he's got back at him as well, the receipt. Unbelievable. Oh, there's going to be some license points involved in that one for sure.
Oh, that was huge. And we've got
Oh, there
Smokey
was.
down at the elbow as well, so
Yeah, we
hopefully they're going to
do,
get through all right.
We have
As you
indeed.
can see, McLean is tucked right up behind Blanchard. We're about to see what the slipstream is of these cars. The boys who missed a slipstream in the split 3 car.
Indeed. And I tell you what, Josh Drage will be laughing at the fact that he managed to stay out of the race control rumble. We've just seen across the top. He's managed to keep himself neat and tidy at the front end of town, fighting with the split 1 drivers. See as well, this battle continues with Poynton and Haynes as they fight along with him. Either of those guys won split 2 when they made their promotion, but they haven't gone back down just yet. Poynton being up in split 1 since season 19 of Vets. 9 seasons. As that there is Greg Favell in the
No,
wall
he's
and having
gone.
to take
He's
back
left.
the pit. Yep, that's done. And Matt Monday coming in again as well. But unbelievable stuff. We've only got a few minutes to go in this race. It is coming down to the nitty and gritty. 2 laps here at the mountain as Drage continues to pressure Poynton. They've lost the tail and the rear tailpipe for the Dutch plumber Sean Vandermeulen, and Jason Bent has been untouchable all evening in what has been an
Benty.
incredible race at the mountain.
Of course, Benty is the co-driver tomorrow for Brian Ball, the 017 car. That'll be interesting battle to see how those boys go tomorrow, but getting plenty of lap time tonight. He's our great man, Jason Bent. But, just jump, we've gone back to Blanchard. Blanchard's still under all sorts of pressure from Justin McLean here, but don't rule out Horsell and Callahan coming, the M1 driver. He's not too far behind. He's under a bit of battle from Abel Vivan and Scott McKenzie as well, so still plenty of happening. Michael Schreier, our Pro Series safety car driver, sitting in 13th. He's still doing quite well to be hanging on to these lads.
Indeed, of course, Michael last season competed in only 2 rounds of split 2, didn't manage to get signed up again for this season. Hopefully we see him return again soon, because he did have some great performances, including a race win for Sim Racing, and interesting to see if he can try and get a solid result out of this race, of course. McLean, though, continues to apply pressure into the back of Blanchard as they ride down the hill once again. Callaghan in behind for Ben as well, and here comes McLean to the inside as he looks to make the move down the inside. Blanchard, though, is not going to make it easy for him. Can he get the job done on the brakes? He can! McLean, what a move! Gets it done on Blanchard and will push on towards for the white flag in the final lap of this race. Unbelievable stuff as the race leader Jason Pence has gotten us commenced for final lap. It's white flag in the mountain and white flag for the Vets Gen 2 race as we look to salute it and send it away. It's never to be seen, at least anytime soon, in V8 Vets land.
These boys have done a cracking job in the second race. They have absolutely turned it on. It's been good to see. First race a bit scratchy, but we've definitely got this one with plenty of action. as we head up into difference for the final time here with Justin McLean under all sorts of pressure from Blanchard, Horsell, Callahan and Burban. Let's see if these boys are going to get across. That's grabbing. That's Matty Bunday again, is it? Nice, Matty.
Shane Randall.
Shane Randall.
He's been in the wall down there onto the commencement of his final lap, so he's been off the final corner again, unfortunately. It's got them going once more. This battle continues though. Mark Poynton feels the pressure once again from Josh Drage. Oh, massive wiggle though, down the hill for Dragey. This was the moment for Randall. Was there contact with Hoffman? Oh, there was. Got a bit spooked into the grass, and that spins him round and off the road into the escape road that'll lead you back into the township.
No way with that one. Stayed on the bitumen.
Yeah, stayed on the bitumen. Very lucky.
Heading down Conrad for the final time before we hand this over to the top 15 shootout. It's coming everyone's way in 10 minutes. And it is going to be Jason Benson and Van der Meulen, but we've got this last little battle here with Mark Point and Josh Drake, Simon Haynes. Don't think we're going to see any great last big dives into the chase. Simon Haynes done pretty well. He'd be pretty chuffed with what he's done there. Justin McLean, though, back in 7th. He's up 20 spots. He'd be pretty chuffed as well. And definitely been, though, a great drive for Jason Bentz, Van der Meulen. Mark Horton's going to round out our podium.
That is an incredible drive for his podium finishes. We see the final top 10 positions will look to get made up here as well. Josh Drage, what a drive to P4. It's Haynes, he came home in P5. We've had Fisher home in P6 ahead of Justin McLean, Chris Blanchard, Brett Horsell, Darryl Callahan inside the top 10. And Sandman Clark has been making sandcastles with Will Munro. Yep. Oh, they've been having a great time out there. He's not happy. He's not happy. He was... we had to contractually pre-warn him earlier on there, Scott, that you've got ammunition for him. What happened there, Sandman?
He's not. He muted. He muted.
No, he's back in. Oh, he's just absolutely served my father into the cutting. Oh, Scott.
A very powerful position right now. You can give the character reference you want to Hamish Munro's dad if you'd like. We'll leave that up to you.
Did I get moved over on? Did he move over on me?
Sounds like you stuck up for yourself.
Is that what happened?
I haven't seen it yet. All I've seen was you going through a sand trap. That's it.
Yeah. All right. So have a look at that coming into the chase.
Yep. Coming down into the chase. Oh, yeah.
You know what?
I reckon you're right.
All right. I'll take that. Because that's what it felt like at the time. I went to the outside and I was never going to try and move around the outside, but then we obviously made contact and that fired us both off. Not the way we want to finish. I don't know.
I want you to embrace your inner race car driver. Get mad, shake some fists, threaten to take him out the back of the pit building.
Can I just say, while we've got a chance, it was so much fun.
You can have a punch on with him if you want to, man. It's okay.
I don't think I want to punch on with anyone, mate, because I reckon I'd lose. Fat 50-year-old bald man ain't got a chance in any fight. But at the end of the day, thank you to ASRG, thank you to SimSpeed for letting me do this, and Vets, most importantly. Such a great series. I hope the racing was good for you guys. I'm looking forward to going actually and seeing what happened to everyone else. But, geez, for a couple of unfortunate incidents I had an absolute ball.
That's good, Sandman. Always welcome, mate, with the community. You're part of it. You've been with us for a while now. And as we do know, very, very busy man, particularly with your ASRG commitments that you do for us. So it is great that we could get you to jump into this one, have a bit of fun and enjoy being behind the wheel instead of being behind the microphone.
Mate, Sandman, you've got 5.5 years of safety before I can join you, mate. Run while you can.
So much fun. Oh, I suppose I should get out of this and get to the G-Hub, hey?
Yep.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for commentating.
No worries. We basically wrap this one up. I'll just quick final comment. Just, V8 Vets or V8veterans.com.au is the Facebook page. Jason Bentz was our race winner from Sean Van der Meulen. Mark Poynton in third, Josh Drage from Race Control rounded out number 4, Simon Haynes from WKP in 5th, Damon Fisher from Shadow Racing in 6th, 7th is Justin McLean, Chris Blanchard in 8th in the top 10, I think it's finished kind of Randall there, 9th is Brett Horsell, 10th is Callahan. Over to you, Hamish.
Just outside of the top 10, we found the likes of Abel Verben ahead of Scott McKenzie, Michael Schreier, Brad Hayes and Luke Ullman for our top 15. Matty Fu will finish ahead of Mick Clifton with Darren Goosey. Sam Edel finished inside of the top 20 with a very damaged race car. And I looked back at that incident, actually, Sam, and there was net code in it actually between them both, probably about a foot.
Okay.
Jake Cowman, though, will make up our top 20 at the end of that race. For the final few positions in the final 14 or so, Will Munro finishing behind with Andrew Hoffman, Shane Randall ahead of Brendan McLean, Matty Monday ahead of David Coleman with Wayne Shepherd, Aaron Smith, Pete Kelleher, Greg Favell for the top 30. The final few spots after tonight's second race for continuous grid action of V8 veterans, we found Dean Logsdale ahead of Sean Slater, Nathan Cabin, Simon Heddersheed and Ed Cullen at the back end of the field. Big thank you to those that were in race control for that one, Dan Hall and Brett O'Brien as well. Thank you to everyone as well for being here with us. As I said, if you want to catch the Vets action for the rest of the weekend, well, after the shootout, come and head over to the V8 Veterans channel. You'll find the Split 2 action live from Sandown for their race this evening. And tomorrow night after the Bathurst 1000, you'll find John in the booth with Dan Page and all the friends of the Sunday night Chook raffle this week for the Split 4 action as well at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow night. So still plenty of Vets action to come, and I think it's going to be a massive weekend still though for the V8 Pro Invitational Series with the shootout to come and as well the 1000 tomorrow.
And on behalf of Vets, a huge thank you to ASRG for letting us jump in, do the support race. And we'll hand this one back over to Scotty and Stephen to call the top 15 shootout. I think it's going to be an epic one to watch. There was plenty of elbows out in the qualifying session earlier, and I really think times are that close, this could be anybody's. So have fun with that one, boys.
Well, there are 15 laps that stand between us and setting the field before tomorrow. 15 by 6.2 kilometres. It comes down to nothing short of talent to get us home from here. And there is only one lap. There's no do-over. There is no chucking it in the fence, coming back to pit lane and bolting an extra set on. It is one lap, one opportunity. And again, I said earlier on in the night, the goosebumps were brewing. They're backing on my skin. We're going to walk away. We're going to take a short break, and we will be back for the top 15 shootout live from the mountain to finish us off for your Saturday action for the Two Force Endurance Cup.
You've always felt it. That spark, that pull. Watching the greats carve through history. Every turn, risk, reward. Now you don't just watch. You step inside. You take the wheel. Together, we're breaking barriers between sim and sport. Setting a new standard for performance. So with the power in your palms, the roar in your ears, and the position of a pro, let's turn dream to drive and play to podium. Our legacy, now yours. Welcome to the grid.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Experience the world's most legendary racing events with iRacing. iRacing special events allow any member to compete in full-length multiplayer races based on some of the biggest events in motorsports all year round. Compete in virtual endurance races, such as the Daytona 24, Spa 24, and the Nürburgring 24 Hours. Take on some of the toughest races on the NASCAR schedule, such as the Daytona 500. We have events from disciplines all across the racing world, from the Indianapolis 500 to the Chili Bowl, from the Bathurst 1000 to the Crandon Championship. Our endurance special events utilize iRacing's team feature, where members can sign up and race together on their own team, swapping drivers throughout the race. Other events utilize iRacing Super Sessions, where you're not only racing against those on track, but against every driver taking part. And as every race progresses, watch and feel the track change with progressive time of day, dynamic weather and rain, and dynamic track debris and surface changes. Take on your favorite discipline or try a brand new racing challenge with our biggest races of the year, the iRacing Special Events. Learn more at iRacing.com/special-events.
Welcome back to Bathurst Mount Panorama for qualifying and shootout Saturday for the big one tomorrow night or tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock. It's going to be a big race, the 1000. It's something we look forward to each and every year. And we've already seen some excitement on the track through qualifying, and the vets have had their run, and now it's a one-lap shootout around the mountain that everyone dreams about in a supercar. To have the mountain all to yourself, it's the Bathurst 1000 top 15 shootout. So qualifying was an absolute ripper, close as we always expect. And now the top 15 get to battle it out to see who will start from provisional pole for the big one tomorrow. Now, of course, Bathurst is always, it's never all about qualifying, but it does make that job just that little bit easier. We've seen people come from the back mid-race and mid-pack, I should say, and out the front to take this win. It just makes your day just that little bit easier. And we've already seen what can happen on the mountain when you get all the cars bunched up, all ready to go racing. Anything can happen, and normally does. And it makes me wonder, what are we actually in store for Sunday? Bathurst writes its own story each and every year, and there's no doubt that the history will rewrite itself again, and we're going to have some absolute massive story points, I imagine, throughout the day. You think about Jared Filsell's run at the mountain. It cost him a championship. When he didn't finish, missed out on all the points, it cost him a championship, and that's how detrimental this can be because the amount of points that are up on offer. Everyone in the thick of it for the biggest race of the year, it's the Bathurst 1000. So we're now just finding ourselves just waiting as the cars make their way out. Like we said, one at a time. And it's pretty special. Something that I actually haven't had the joy of doing is having the mountain all to yourself just for that one single lap. It's pretty special. And when you've got all eyes watching you on the biggest showcase of his, the Logitech G Pro Series, a mammoth broadcast this weekend, kicking off Wednesday night with racing. And then last night, the co-driver clash. That was brilliant, just to see everyone go at it for a golden ticket for 2027. And then tonight, we head into qualifying. We had our 30-minute qualifying session. Our support races from the mountain with the V8 vets. That didn't disappoint. There was a fair bit of action, I can tell you about that. And that was just so much fun. But it's all about the shootout now. So nerves will be building for a lot of these teams and drivers because they know what's on offer. It's always an honour to start the Bathurst 1000 from pole, and everyone will be itching at the bit just to try and take that moment of glory today.
It's crunch time, isn't it? It is absolutely crunch time. Ryan O'Sullivan is going to be the first guy who will have the track to himself in sim. It is just a lick before 4 p.m. at the moment. The sun is starting to set on the mountain, and it is time to get your laps in order. If you haven't set yourself up, if you haven't settled yourself in, it is time to do so. O'Sullivan is on his way out of pit lane, and we are ready for our first lap of this session, Sam.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? Like I was saying in the opener, there's so many people. There's only a select few that are able to do this one lap run around the mountain and have it all to themselves. It's pretty special. I unfortunately haven't had that pleasure, but boy, oh boy, how exciting would it be just to see what you can do and possibly put yourself on pole for the biggest race of the year.
First driver that is going to get to throw around the lap in anger is that of the Eclipse Sim Sports number 74. Ryan O'Sullivan will be co-driving tomorrow with Gianni Lutsu. We wanted a little bit of a form guide. We've got a little bit of a form guide. He managed to pick up the last win that was available from the qualifying series to get his way into this series. Last time out at Sandown, finished in 30th spot. At Phillip Island, was in 12th spot. Sits 12th in the championship standings. And I tell you what, just returning to action, what a year car number 74 has had. And Ryan O'Sullivan, you reckon, when we were talking to him back at the qualifying series, man, I'd just love to win one of these things. He finally got that job done. And his race pace when he made the series has been brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And we pride ourselves on having the best drivers in the series, and he's really showing the pace that he's got on board. Like you said, those results at Mexico and Spa, nothing to be sneezed at. A great result at Phillip Island for 12th. And he'd be happy to be well inside the championship standings, and hopefully he can stay within that top 16 for the finals.
One of the big things, 30th place back at Sandown. That's the reason he's not really in contention for the Endurance Cup. But at the moment, he sits on the inside of the bubbles. We're going to have that up for everyone that we do through here tonight. For Ryan O'Sullivan and car 74 to the apex of Murray's Corner. You can see the track is dirty. It's dusty. It's been reset for these guys. There is a massive wind that is going to be running from the bottom of this corner here all the way up Mountain Straight. You're going to turn it in at Griffin's Bend, and it's going to push you across. Sorry, my apologies. I'll change that one. It's a right to left breeze, I believe, on our way up Mountain Straight right now. And for Ryan O'Sullivan, it is a cold, cold track. He is on the dirtiest section of road at the moment. Everybody else will have improving conditions from here. But it looks okay. Makes the apex at Griffin's. And the other thing to consider is one of the first cars in the run for Eclipse Sim Racing. He has a lot of information to feed back to the team after this lap.
Absolutely. And I guess the beauty about going first out is that he originally qualified 15th to get in it. So really, he's got nothing to lose, but all to gain here. So an opportunity to pitch up a couple of spots, and who knows how far he'll get up there. Just because you're the first car out doesn't mean you're not going to grab pole. But it's just very, very tricky. And like you said, it'd be interesting to see what sort of feedback he can give to teammates.
Up and across the top. And the sectors look okay. It's not been a scruffy lap. It's been very, very composed, very straightforward. Finally, just a fraction worth of a slide down the hill as he tipped it into the right-hander right before the dipper. Pulls it up okay. Gets back on the loud pedal out the other side. Just about clouts the wall at the inside of the right-hander before they get to the elbow. Lap looks okay. Ran it all the way out to the wall. He used every skerrick of real estate on the outside and the run of the elbow. This is looking reasonable right here for Ryan O'Sullivan.
That was awesome. From the outside and then right to the apex, hugging the wall on the inside, right back out. It was a perfect line. It looked awesome. We're just going to see if it comes across as a fast time. Obviously, he's the first one to put down a banker, but the car looks good.
The car looks good. The car looks okay. Again, accurate when he gets down here to the chase. 47.115 in the first sector. A 30.300 for Ryan O'Sullivan. One more corner, one more sector. The first lap of the top 15 shootout for 2026. He'll come to the line. It's slid on the way in. He will power it out the other side at 205. It's going to be somewhere in the range of a 4. It is a 205.459. Reasonable for car number 74. In fact, that's quite close to the lap he did in the preceding session. The difference will be the track was warmer then, but it had a lot more rubber on it. So that, I don't think, is too bad of a banker.
I was going to say the same thing for the first lap out, and not to be able to judge how the conditions are at the moment. We were seeing times of maybe just scraping into the 4s. So for that time for the moment, I think he'd be pretty happy with that.
Right, we'll take one step further forward. And in this round of the series last year, Thomas McMillan entered it as a co-driver. He walked away from the co-driver clash with a golden ticket in his hand. He has taken this one up, grabbed it with both hands, and he's not necessarily had the best in terms of qualifying series performances into the race performances that we've seen thus far in 2026. He did not start last time out. The last 2 times out in the championship, both Sandown and Phillip Island, issues for car 248. Were not able to find a co-driver. Here he is, equipped and finally able to put it together for qualifying and a stab at the mountain. He calls himself a little bit of a mountain master. Prefers to be running here. Season 2026 has not gone the way of Thomas McMillan. He sits 35th in the championship. He is 411 points behind the finals bubble, and he has 275 points adrift of an automatic invite back last year. For Thomas McMillan, if he's going to recover his season 2026, it's got to start at the mountain.
Absolutely, and a bad season can all be undone when if you have a great race at the 1000. That can really take away the pain that you've had throughout the year. So that's what he's obviously looking at. He gets his run to the start-finish line, and this is where he starts his hot lap, trying to chase down a 205.459. Thomas McMillan makes the first corner in nice and tidy. No slide on exit, up on the ripple strip, perfect.
Yep, points it out the other side. You don't want to take too much out of the tyres early. A little bit of a slide at turn 1 means you are in trouble for the entirety of the way across the top. You want to make sure that you build the tyre nicely, all the way to the right-hand side of the road on the run-up mountain straight. Now he'll park it up and look to tip it back. He's a touch wide of the apex at the initial turn-in point for Griffin's Bend right there, but again, lots of Rob's Esports cars inside of the 15. This is all research and exploration. Finds the white line all the way on the right-hand side as well of the entry to the cutting. He just about went over that little crest in the road there that falls away.
Just a tiny bit down on O'Sullivan in the first sector. 47.3 to a 47.1. He can still make that time across the top of the mountain. Still early stages with a couple of sectors. Oh, he's made contact. Brushed it up against the wall. Hasn't done any damage. He's been able to get away with it, but that will just hurt him a little bit.
The way the session is set together, normally if you're an iRacing fan, you would think, I've made contact with the wall, my run is over. Not so. Not so on the top 15 shootout. This is the only time of the year that you're allowed to brush the wall. We want our drivers pushing it all the way to the limits, and then sometimes a little bit beyond. And Thomas McMillan is certainly doing that. 2 glances. I thought I caught one at the grate just before as well. So he'll turn it, he'll point it, he'll run it back down the hill. And for Thomas McMillan, he is trying to scrap every little bit of time out of this thing. 14th place at the end of qualifying. Is it going to go any further than that?
Car looks good. Oh, got a little bit of attitude as it caught the curb on the inside there. Settled it down nice under brakes. Got it turned in, hit the apex. Didn't lose too much on that second split. Have a look at that. 30.3, the same as Sullivan as he comes into the final corner.
Final corner, Murray's, the turn and the point for home. The sectors in sector 2 matched O'Sullivan's perfectly to the 1,000, but he's not going to find time. And Thomas McMillan sits second, the highest he will start potentially from the great race tomorrow. But that does mean that he is behind Ryan O'Sullivan, and you said it, Sandman. O'Sullivan was the first car off the rank. He can only finish 15th at worst. It already has got one spot better.
Yep, so he's already improved on his day already, and there's still a number of cars to go out. And it doesn't take much, a little bit sideways or a little brush with the wall that can make things really come undone for someone, and you can catapult up a couple of spots.
The next car we'll get an opportunity to have a look at the pit lane exit there as well. A couple of Eclipse cars starting to get towards the end of things. Car number 53. Now, it's going to be the co-driver on board for this car. Hayden Veld not available, but think back last time out to Sandown. And Veldy, he had a field day. Absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. Unfortunately for him, where he crossed the line in second place was not to be with penalties coming his way post-race. Fourth place last time out at Sandown. We've actually probably got them the wrong way around. My apologies on that one. 17th place back at Phillip Island. Sits 9th in the championship. The big news, though, 165 points on the good to the finals placings. 314 points to the good for avoiding relegation. Only 14th in the Endurance Cup. And there's still a lot left on the board for car 53. I think, since the transition away from Evolution Racing Team, I think it's worked for him.
Yeah, and absolutely, and he'll be wrapped with that little gap that he's got, a little bit of breathing space as you come into the mountain too, as far as the points go. So obviously there's a lot of focus on that, but it's a big point stay, the Bathurst 1000. We're talking about a massive point stay if you can have a good result, and everyone's biggest fear is everyone just wants to stay away from a DNF.
And I was talking to a few of the Eclipse boys. I just jumped around some of the teams and just asked a couple of questions. And one of the things that they were discussing is how you prepare the tyres and what you have to do. And what you just saw from Cody Death, a little bit of weaving, that's because the colder the track, you just need some bite in the tyres from the get-go. You don't want to fry them off. You just want a little bit extra in terms of what's available to you on a colder session. So you'll try and prep them up. Think back to the first time Jamie Whincup ever did the top 10 shootout. It was always Lowndes' duty on board car 888. The first time he did it, he didn't warm the tyres up enough, and actually a touch wide. Did you see that? Missed the apex at Griffin, so
yeah.
He was looking for a little bit more purchase. It was only a half a foot, but that's enough.
What I've noticed too is the UV is a lot more. It's a lot more sunny around this part of the racetrack for this lap. It was a lot darker when Ryan O'Sullivan was out, so that might have been just a little bit. It hasn't hurt his time too much. Have a look at that though. Absolutely nothing in it for Sector 1, but you're right, it is just moving around, so you can see the UV is out a little bit more.
But the big thing will be, I reckon that was probably worth a tenth how much he missed the apex. Oh, cloud of the wall! Cloud of the wall found the grass! And Cody Death will be starting at this point from 15th. That lap is done. The off-track will cancel the time, I think. Either way, he is on his way back down. And now there's attitude from the rear. He turned in early at McPhillamy. I don't think I can say I've ever seen that in a top 15 shootout.
Yeah, it just turned it in and it caught the inside wall, and that upset the car. He was just a passenger. It could have been a lot worse. He got away with it. I'm not sure if this one's going to count or not, but obviously it's going to hurt him for that time.
Have a look at the difference. Lost 8 tenths. He was 1,000th away at the first sector line. And for Cody Death, it was only about 3 kilometres into the lap. He has another 3 to do. He's still attacking it for everything that it's worth. Down through the chase. He'll turn it back to the left-hand side. Flicks it back to the right. Car 53 is not going to be starting where it finished qualifying. It's probably going to be starting a little bit deeper in the field than that. Accurate at the final corner, and he will be frustrated with that lap. He will be annoyed. Yeah, he's had it. He's not happy with it.
It doesn't take much. It's so easy. It's so easy. You get one lap to get it right, and it's easy just to make that little bit of a mistake. Turned in just that little bit too early, caught that inside wall, and that was the end of it.
Ryan O'Sullivan, that's the difference, isn't it? He's done a few of these before. Thomas McMillan's, he's probably done 1 or 2, but he's not done all that many. That is Cody Death's first ever top 15 shootout. First time ever he's done that, and that was a rookie mistake right there.
Yeah, take nothing away from him though. It's tough. It's there's nerves. There's so much riding on this one lap. So, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm just jealous that he's been able to compete in one. I've never had the chance, never had the opportunity, never had the skill. So just absolutely jealous that he able to took part. He'd been kicking himself, but tomorrow's a big long day.
we'll put on the Sandman shootout just for you next year, don't you worry. In the meantime, it's our last race winner finds himself inside of our top 15 shootout, Sandown. And I said at the end of that one, he was going to celebrate it like he wouldn't believe. Car number 12, another Eclipse Sim Sports entry. Job Stewart, though, is going to be the guy that's doing the lap. He's moved up into the main game after running in the Gen 2s and the Super 2s over the last couple of years. He was a co-driver for Cooper Murray last year in the 1,000. They sit 6th in terms of the Endurance Cup standings, 13th back at the island, but he is in 11th spot for Matthew Bowler. He will have his trust, he will have his faith in the co-driver to do his job. Job Stewart does a lot of work. We heard Hamish Munro say, I got to meet him at a racetrack in the recent past. For the guy that's turning laps for Erebus at the moment in the real world, this is where the mountain becomes his alone. He's not had the opportunity to do one of these laps in Gen 3 hardware. Of course, don't forget, the Super 2s did their set of the shootout. Look, it's the top 5 shootout last year from qualifying from the mountain. But for this time, Job Stewart, Gen 3, new supercars engine, new opportunity to tear around this place in anger, and the mountain is just eerily quiet.
There's no surprise here. Obviously, the lap looks pretty good so far. We're waiting to see where he's going to stop the stopwatch. Chasing a 47.115 for Sector 1. Oh, 112. He's done it. He's a fraction up, and he is on it. And his pace from Sandown was incredible. Both of them, they had that place sorted at Sandown. And I wouldn't imagine that they would be too far off the pace here at Mount Panorama. Excited to go back-to-back in the Enduros. Let's wait and see.
I'll put it this way. I watched the 2025 edition of the Bathurst 1000 from the grandstands just before turn 1. I sat there with my raincoat on and I willed Erebus to give this kid a shot in the rain and the dying stages of the race. He's proved himself on that occasion as a co-driver from the mountain. And on this occasion, it crawls out of the elbow. The sector time is 33 thousandths down. Net down at the moment, he is 300ths of a second over his teammate. That's what he's got to find when he finds the anchors down here. And it was scruffy on the way into the elbow.
Absolutely nothing in it. Keeps it pegged. Turns right. Car looks nice and smooth. Late on the brakes, as late as he dares. Gets it turned in. Car looks good. It's going to be incredibly close.
I've got to be honest, I'm watching the lap on board from his screen on my screen at the moment, and he turned in very early at the chase. He carried the brake a long, long way, and it did not want to rotate. At Murray's, at the final corner, he'll light it up on the curb. Job Stewart, 48.146. He goes to P2. But that lap from Sully in tricky conditions is starting to become the standard. I cannot tell you how much Sully was chomping at the bit. And Job, I think he'll be annoyed with himself.
Mate, absolutely nothing in it. You talk about that, like, have a look at those times. That's incredibly close, but that's what we talk about the shootout. That's the beauty of it. There's so much that can happen. Doesn't matter if you come out first or last. You never know how the cards are going to fall.
Sam, man, I know you're going to enjoy this one. I'll let you do the introductions because I know that this man means a lot to you, but more than that, what he means to the series and the Australian supercars community on a whole.
Guy, mate, long-time friend, Madison Down, and, mate, his results speak for himself. The amount of championships he's got under his belt for Trans-Tasman Racing. Phillip Island, 11th. Obviously not the best result at Sandown for 20th, but he's chasing down a decent result in the Endurance Cup. And the thing that's caught us by surprise is obviously his overall championship standings. He was outside the top 20 a long way out a couple of rounds back. So sneaking just inside the top 15, he'd be looking to progress this weekend and get himself in a comfortable position so he can stay in the chance for the final series.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Madison Down, he needs no introduction. He makes this place his underling, shall we say. He loves to monster it around here. My first time of offering in this series back in 2023, there was a hectic showdown between himself, Brady Myers, and Jared Filsell. That was one to watch. That is what caught me by surprise. That is what made me enjoy my commentary at the top end of town. He's a man that's done this lap on his own 1,000,001 times around here. This just turns out to be a regular day for a guy who's a manager of a super cheap auto store. And for now, he will crank every single horse that is available to him in his Chevrolet. all the way down into turn 1. Tips it in rather nicely. Parks it up on the apex curb and out the other side as well. That looked nice and clean and smooth and polished. And that's what you come to expect from Car 77.
Absolutely. I've been blessed to be able to look at his data and really learn from him as far as how he goes about driving. And it's he's obviously, his results speak for themselves, but he makes it look so easy. It's so bloody annoying when you're a teammate with him. You think, how easy does he make it look? And then you go out and try to copy him. And it's a real art form. He's been doing it a long time. And he's definitely up there with one of our best. Let's see what he does for the times. He's trying to stop the clock before a 47.115. He's just a smidgen behind a 47.296.
But the thing was, in the first half of the lap, it actually looked like he was looking after it a little bit. Clouts the wall just before the grate. So he went all the way out to the fence. That's unloaded the front end of the car. Across the top, it's now going to be Scruffy. Didn't turn it in like Cody Deeth did a fraction early at McPhillamy. But now he's got to find time. Clouts the barrier again on the run down through Skyline. So for the man that's done this 1,000,001 times, for the man that's been around this place on his own and knows how to make this place kneel before him, this is not the Madison Down we know. This is not the driver that is capable in so many years gone by. Is he past his best? Maybe fractionally, but he will want it like you wouldn't believe.
I would never count out Madison Down. Obviously, this lap has been fairly scruffy, and the times are reflecting that. So the one who's got a big smile is Ryan O'Sullivan, sitting back watching how this is all playing out at the moment, because the way this is unfolding, that's another spot that Ryan O'Sullivan's going to jump up.
Big thing will be coming out of this is he'll be able to feed data back to everyone else. The next one that rolls off a pit lane is another one of the Trans-Tasman cars. Spoke to them before qualifying, before the shootout, and they said, yeah, look, I think we deserve more than 3 cars inside the shootout. The first of those to lay down a lap will be number 77, and for Madison Down, it's a 2:05.975. He was the quickest car, though, so far in Sector 3. And that's what I said, Sandman. I said he was just a little bit sedentary the way he got off the first couple of corners. Do you reckon he tried too hard through the middle of the lap?
Look, who knows? Yeah, maybe. But, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't take much. These cars move around so much, and, the pressure of the moment, he's excited, he's nervous and everything else, and maybe the car just wasn't quite exactly where he needed it. Unfortunately, it's got away from him there.
Another driver who has been here, who has fought for victories and not necessarily ever gone his way, is Brady Myers. He's the one that's had to challenge and do it the hard way. On other occasions when his teammates have been there and putting on standout performances, Brady Myers is never far from it, but he's never necessarily been the out-and-out top performer at Trans-Tasman consistently. Now might be his opportunity. 7th back at Phillip Island to kick off the Endurance Cup. 16th from Sandown. Currently does not sit first in the championship standings. That's a typo there from my end. I did the data for this, by the way, so the one that gets in trouble for this will be me. That much I can certainly be for sure. But he is inside the gap to finals and the gap to relegation as much as you can say. So for now, for Brady Myers, there'll be some work to do.
And look at that shot there. Look at that, how overcast it is a little bit. So that might work in Brady Myers' favour. Just so we got that little bit of cloud cover on the racetrack. He will be loving seeing that at the moment. It's a little bit brighter down this end, but it might just play out.
So for confirmation, by the way, he finished 16th back at Sandown. He finished 7th at Phillip Island. My, have I got some work to do. 9th in the Endurance Cup standings, 584 points on the board. Sits, I believe, 18th in terms of, it's 18th back at Spa. Missed out at Mexico. He sits 16th in the championship at the moment. He is the bubble driver in that one, and he is 164 points ahead of relegation. As I refresh the spreadsheet to refresh my mind, and for a man that doesn't, again, need to refresh his mind, he used all of the limit at turn 1. I thought there was a fraction of the right rear tyre in the grass as you went to tip it in. That is enough to just about pull you unstuck as you begin to climb. And again, the same thing as I said for Madison Down. It was nice and smooth. I think there's a few drivers who are trying to get the tyre to the middle of the lap and then press on.
Yeah, overcast conditions here as he turns it in. It was, like you said, he used all of the racetrack, made us sweat a little bit, wiggled a little bit there. Wonder if that will reflect on his time. Comes into the cutting. Uses up all the racetrack out wide, pulls it in nicely. I think there's a step out on him, which is obviously so easy to do. It's easy to light the rears up. He stops the times. He's just a fraction slower.
Kept away in Sector 1. Now he's got some work to do up and across the top in Sector 2, and this is where Madison Downs' lap started to come unstuck. It just found the barrier in a couple places. Brady Myers a little bit better at the turn-in point. Just about clouts the barrier. Nearly the second car today in the shootout to clout the inside wall of McPhillamy. I cannot believe we're saying that with how much of the racetrack we're using. It's more than I've ever seen them use ever before. Again, Scruffy on the way down through the S's to the elbow. He needs to find something. He's got to pull it up accurately. He's 67 thousandths down in Sector 2. He has got a world to find. And when he put the thing down, when he stepped on the gas pedal, the tyres were not happy with him. They did not approve.
Yeah, a little wiggle on exit. So that's it's so close, incredibly close. Overcast through this part of the racetrack. You'll be hard on the throttle through here. Don't lift, mate. Turn it in. Brake as late as you dare. You can see that little belch of flame out as he jumps on the brake, starts to shift down, gets a little bit of curb, looks reasonably smooth through there. Has he got enough to take on Ryan O'Sullivan?
Out and under the Armour All Bridge to the final corner. He'll pull it up at Murray's. He'll try and arc it back. He'll turn it back. And for Brady Myers in car 22, what's the final sector time like? Again, new best time in the final sector. That's where the Trans-Tasman cars have been strong. But the problem has been giving themselves a first half of the lap that they can fight back with. All of their lack of speed is either in the first sector or the second sector. I reckon if you put the first sector of Madison down lap with the second sector of Brady's and polish it off with Brady's lap, he'd be right there contending for a pole position. 88 thousandths off a pole at the moment.
Nothing in it. It makes me wonder if they maybe want to build a little bit more pressure in the tyres, get them a little bit warmer for the start of the lap perhaps. Maybe they're just starting them off a little bit lazy and they're coming good at the end of the lap. I don't know. But at the end of the day, mate, 88 1,000s, that's there's absolutely nothing in it. Ryan O'Sullivan, he's absolutely doing backflips at the moment.
Maybe qualifying wasn't exactly where we wanted to put it together, and that might be a much more representative lap time for himself. Right, car 21, normally driven by Marcelo Rivera. It's going to be Ethan Grigol that gets out here for this car on this opportunity, and he will get the opportunity to work this thing into its lap. A little bit of a discussion I was talking about him before it. He's taken a little bit of a break away from iRacing at the moment. How did he relax in that time? Oh, I didn't stop sim racing. No. I got onto a Assetto Corsa rally. I wanted to send the thing a little bit sideways. He was enjoying that. And sometimes it's the differences in life that brings the spice to it. He will get set. And again, another name that has done this all before. This is no rookie effort for car 21. For Ethan Grigol, if you wanted a co-driver, I don't think he can do much better.
His results in the co-driver clash speaks for itself, doesn't it? Like, he was on fire there and finished third just last night for the co-drivers clash. So exactly what you said, a great co-driver and enough experience under his belt. And I think anyone would gladly have him strapped in beside them for a co-drive in the Bathurst 1000.
And off and down onto turn number one. I'll get some stats coming your way as well for Marcelo Rivera's shot through the championship. Result at Sandown was 18th. For Phillip Island, it was all the way down in P40. They sit 30th in the Endurance Cup standings and 240 points. At Mexico for Marcelo, it was also out in 40th and 42nd from Spa. It's not been a season that he really wants to remember, and he sits 39th in points as a result. There's a mountain to climb for him. A mountain of opportunities, though, will present itself tomorrow. 493 points away from the gap to finals, 357 his target, and what he'll be asking of Ethan Grigol is just get me into a free ticket the next year.
Oh, just a smidgen down too, just in that first sector. Still plenty to fight with, though, as he goes across the top of the mountain through Metal Grate. Right up against the concrete. Doesn't hit it, though. I tell you what, it's heart-and-mouth stuff when you come through that part of the racetrack. He's done a great job positioning the car down through the S's, into the dipper. Car looks good, and we're waiting to see where he stops the times, chasing a 30.300. He's a 30.367.
Right, so that's, well, it actually matches Brady Myers' time in the middle sector from the previous run, by the way. Both of them set 30.367s. I think Ethan Grigol was just a hair better in Sector 1 than Brady Myers has done. So that puts him at least on track for P2 at this point in time. But this car's not had a lot to assist it in terms of its mechanical work up to this sort of a race. It's basically been running on its own as the last car from the Evolution Racing team in their series, which means we don't have much of a tell of what this car's capable like in that final sector. through the chase was, again, not aggressive, but also not scruffy at the same time, and sometimes that's how you extract pace out of the car. Pulls it up for the final corner, just barely touches the inside curb and uses all of the road on the way up the other side. It's going to be a 2:05.730. He lost time in boatloads of time in that final sector, and in fact is going to slot into P4, which means 3 cars behind him. I think that's going to work out being a net loss for car 21.
Obviously been a little bit disappointed. That surprised me too. I didn't expect that last sector to be as tricky as it was for him. But nevertheless, obviously not ideal, but still not a bad starting spot so far.
A man that has got a lot to prove in the sim racing world. He's been grumpy. In fact, I could probably call him Captain Grumpy this year because he's not been happy with himself probably over the last 24 months. About every time we spoke to him, he's, I could have done a lot better tonight. But he leads the Mustang Cup standings from the real world. He's got Forza El Nami on board as his co-driver. It's Josh Anderson for Trans-Tasman Racing. Phillip Island, not the best result. Last year, they were a very, very quick car. They finished P2 at Phillip Island in the 500. From Sandown, it was a little bit better, a little bit more to write home about. Heavily penalised, I believe, on that occasion from 14th. Since 21st in the standings, again, like we said, it's not been the year that Car 36 has necessarily wanted for itself, and a lot of work to do if he wants to make his way to the finals and out of relegation.
Yeah, absolutely, and someone that you never discount either. So regardless of how the championship order is or going, you know, his racecraft is brilliant. And like you said, the way he's going about his real world racing in the Mustang Cup, so great to see in that inaugural championship year. And no doubt he will be a force come tomorrow, late in the afternoon. You know that he can be there or thereabouts. It's going to be a ripper.
The big thing I think for him is you know, he got into it late in life, and it was sim racing that sort of kick-started a little bit of that career. It got him that bite, it got him that opportunity to step forward. But when he's grabbed it with both hands. And I was talking to him at Queensland Raceway last year, and he was talking about, yeah, look, I'm doing quite well for the hardware I'm in. And then all of a sudden, very shortly thereafter, popped out and won a race at Sandown last year on board the Toyota 86s. So he was upbeat but frustrated because he felt he could be further up. And he was discussing at that point in time, where do I go for 2026? What do I do? And hanging up the helmet was very much front and forefront of his mind and what they were talking about because of budgets, because of how expensive it is. Well, 12 months on from that moment and that discussion, I can tell you it is a much, much happier Joshua Anderson. And his car looks good at the exit of turn 1. Attacked it a little bit harder than the TTR cars we've seen thus far.
He's got the easy part here where it's foot flat to the floor. Just get ready for that braking zone. Hard on the brakes. Get it turned in. Dare as you can. Just a little bit of that curb on exit. He's done it nicely. Car looks good. Into the cutting. A great part of the racetrack here when you get it all right and put it together. Misses the wall on the inside by absolutely nothing. Hard on the throttle. Car looks stable. And again, 47.2. We're seeing a lot of review. I'm doing a lot of 47.2s of late.
Which means that Ron O'Sullivan's first sector time looks even better. But the problem is he's now going to make headway up and across the top. Uses all of the real estate. Turns in. He clouded just barely. Touched the inside barrier, McPhillamy. Right. They are using every little scarrick of real estate. Gets it sideways through the S's. Josh Anderson is pressing on hard. And I think that time's gonna cost him. Yeah, he's 2/10 back. Now he's 3/10 back from Sully. He is 3/10 to a nose hair. He is 3/10 absolutely perfectly. The TTR cars have been quick in this final sector, but if he wants to get close to Brady Myers, he has got to find at least 2.2 tenths to get himself to P2. That is a mountain to ask of this final sector.
Yeah, it is a lot. There's not much to do here as far as breaking as late as he can. And it would have been a little bit of frustration, just kicking himself that the car sort of got away from him, and then you sort of overthink and then think about what just happened, and then, you know, the next corner comes undone for you. But still, it's not going to be a bad, horrible lap. It just won't be provisional pole.
Comes out of the last corner. He will try and put everything that's left on the table, but I can tell you that is going to be a mad Josh Anderson. He is his own worst critic at every opportunity. 47.985, I think, is a touch slower than what we saw from Brady Myers in that final sector to date, and that means he's only good enough for fourth best. I tell you what, that is a shaken up qualifying order, isn't it?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. When you look at it, Rhino Sullivan over Brady Myers, Job Stewart, Josh Anderson and Ethan Grigg-Galt, your top 5 so far.
Worthwhile pointing out as well, we've got some drivers in this grid and in this grouping that have got a job to do tomorrow morning. think about Cody Deeth, who's already run and sits at the bottom of the pile at the moment. He is in PEST qualifiers tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. I was talking to those guys. Another driver who has got a history of results in this series and at the big moments, Luke Rosella, winner of the Bathurst 1000 in years gone by, but also a winner at the Sandown 500. Last year, it was his opportunity to sit alongside of Richie Stenaway, and they managed to pull it all off. A couple of years ago from Sandown, it was alongside Harley Haber. Harley Haber will be the co-driver for teammate Jared Phil, so we'll see a little bit later on in this session. From Phillip Island, it was only 8th best. From Sandown, 16th. And again, we haven't seen the best of Luke Rosella, I don't necessarily think, this season. He's qualified poorly, but climbed his way through the field. That's the reason that he sits 3rd in the championship. He's 400 points about ahead of the gap to the finals, just over 500 ahead of the gap to relegation, and Enduro Cup standing sits 5th. He can haste potential success from the mountain tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. Don't count him out. And we saw the pace that Richie had in the co-drivers clash. I think he qualified almost outside the top 20. I think it might have been 19th, and then finished inside the top 10. So it was a good run from Richie. So never count these guys out. And when you add the outfit of Lobs that have got that force behind them as well, yeah, definitely don't discount them at any stage of the race.
Here we go. He'll wind himself up out of turn 1. And again, that's the widest I've seen a car at turn 1, but it didn't look scruffy. It didn't look like it was understeering. He used all of the real estate available to him to turn that car very intentionally. Didn't sit up on top of the curb at Hell Corner. Now it's going to be park it up and tip it back in. Getting late, getting dark in the afternoon, the middle of winter from the mountain means the sun starts to set just a little bit earlier in the middle of regional New South Wales, all the way to the crest of 4th gear. Here at bang off the limiter before he tips it into the cutting. And again, I'm not seeing action from these cars. I'm seeing smooth to this point on the lap. That crawled to the first sector line there. He's 2 tenths down. Sully's done a mega job in this first sector.
You're not wrong. He's well inside the top 10 as it stands for the moment. And we weren't sure when he punched out that first time what it was going to be, but it's actually standing up. And Rosella a couple of tenths off in sector 1 already.
Up and over the crest and the plunge down through Skyline to the dipper, trying to make some speed from Luke Rosella in car 55. What's the second time going to be? Again, 2 tenths down in sector 1, nearly 2 down in sector 2. And when you put them all together, it's a net 4 tenths down at the second sector line. Work to do for car number 55. Work to do if it's going to make some time. In the same way Trans-Tasman were making time in the final sector, it looks like the Eclipse cars were stronger earlier on in the lap. Is Luke Rosella potentially going to find something, a mountain to climb? But at the mountain, you have to climb that anyway, on the anchors, through the chase. Salmon, I don't think it's good enough. I just don't see it.
No, unfortunately, it's probably a time that's going to put him outside the top 5 at this stage from our timing screen that we've got on the left-hand side. So it hasn't been the best of laps. It looks tidy, but it just doesn't look fast. So he's going to cross the line, stop the clock at a 5.7, and that'll put him in 6th place, just behind Ethan Griggold.
I will say Luke Rosella's weakness has been qualifying. Jumps in a race car, he looks brilliant. He looks really, really set. By the way, new fastest sector time from that lap in the final sector. So he did peg back some time, but not quite enough. He's behind Greg Gold. Brady Myers all of a sudden would be starting to feel quite posh about his lap.
Absolutely.
But the next driver that jumps in is an ex-teammate of Luke Rosella from the Wobbs Esports crew. At least he was a couple of years ago when he was fighting for a championship. James Scott has not been at his best in the Gen 3 era, and he's still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, he's got a huge amount of talent. And, again, he's one of these guys that you will never, ever discount. And he's hoping, can he be the first one to knock off that 2:05.4 from Ryan O'Sullivan? His lap starts now.
Out of the final corner for James Scott, and again, lovely chat to chat to. A little bit fiery up on top of the hair. We have a few of the gingers in the field, and he lists himself amongst them. 29th spot back from Sandown, 5th from the island. He qualified 3rd there, which is the best we've seen him from qualifying in a long, long time. Sits 11th in the Endurance Cup standing, 17th at Mexico, 25th from the wet at Spa. They were not good race cars back at Spa, which is when the split between Eclipse and the Chiefs started to become apparent. They had a mechanical partnership to start off the year, but finds himself in finals contention in 10th spot. He's 163 points ahead of that bubble, 312 points to relegation. Here comes James Scott at the first sector.
It's hard to know what it's going to do. What's he going to stop it at? 47.184, so he's right in the ballpark. Absolutely nothing in it. So he's there or thereabouts, and he can still make it happen now as he goes down through Metal Grate, takes it right up against the wall. Oh, actually left a little bit of real estate on exit there, so he's playing it very cautiously there.
I'll count on the point. I think this is the best non-Eclipse first sector time. Of the Eclipse cars, they were all right there at Sector 1, and then they fell away across the rest of the lap. Scott was a little bit more marked at the first sector. The second timing line, he loses a 10th, so he's about net 2 tenths down, but that is not half bad as we've seen the track develop at the moment. I think it's coming to it.
Yeah, he could be on target for 3rd or 4th position here, depending on how he goes in that final sector. And we've seen a number of cars that have been improving in that final sector. Those purple sectors have been good. So that's exactly what Scott needs right now.
He's run out at the end of qualifying in P6. Can it be an improvement for James Scott? 5 more cars left to come after this one. Accurate at the chase. Got it pulled up nicely. Got off the anchors and got back on the power nice and cleanly. Sat up on the curb. Coming out of the right hand, they're out the other side. Underneath the Armorall Bridge to Murray's. It's going to need a big lap. It didn't want to tip in. It wanted to balance around awkwardly on the rear. At the final corner for James Scott. Gets it out of the last corner. 619 goes to P4. Gee, there's no time out there.
It's interesting, isn't it? We're seeing it time and time again. O'Sullivan has got himself, mate, he is just sitting there thanking his lucky stars. Obviously, it wasn't just all luck. He put together a terrific lap. The car was great. He did everything right. The conditions were perfect, and he finds himself top of the timesheets at the moment.
Well, conditions, you never know when you're going to get the best position and the best conditions in a session. We're talking about drivers that have work to do at 4 a.m. Overnight tonight. Car 56 is another one of them. It's found itself atop the pile on occasions this year. Mexico was one of those. Back at Sandown, it finished after penalties in P2. Remember, Hayden Veld did finish in P2, but was penalised for contact late on, shuffled him down the order. 7th, back at the island. He actually had contact with Zach Rattray White on the final lap, final corner. The championship standings, though, for Car 56, it's in 5th. It is at risk and threatening to storm up through the standings as he builds speed towards the middle of the year. But like we said, tomorrow's going to be a big challenge for this man. 4 a.m. race start to drive Porsche Cups. Then he'll get back to bed. Then he will start this thing as well. It is going to be a long, long day. But I tell you what, Damon Woods is rapidly proving him. I knew it from GT days, but even in a supercar, it is not easy to step across to this hardware, and a driver that has plied himself to that effort.
Yeah, absolutely. We spoke about that in last night's broadcast about, the skill set that you need to, you get so used to driving a car, and if you got something with lots of aids and plenty of traction and downforce, and then you jump into something like a supercar, I mean, it's really tricky to get used to, but the good ones can really do it and make it look easy. And I'll tell you what, he's going to be a tired boy come tomorrow afternoon.
There's one still left to come from qualifying here this afternoon. For now, this will be another one of those Eclipse engineered cars. So its first sector time will be the telling point on this lap. If Damon Woods goes quicker in sector 1, then that means that the track is still building to these guys. If he doesn't, then Sully might have had the best of the conditions, and it crawls its way off of Griffin's. There was a little bit of attitude, a little bit of turn coming from the left rear tyre, accurately into the cutting, pulls it up relatively nicely, but again, it wants to just snap sideways, snap into wheel spin when he applies the throttle pedal, but it's a new best sector 1 time. He's up by 19 thousandths of a second. Could we see Car 56 on pole from there?
Wow, it looked like it had a little bit of attitude. I wasn't going to say that he was going to grab the first fastest sector, but he's done it. So he's actually quite happy with it. Uses all the berm. Car looks good. Can he keep it together for the rest of the lap? Down through the dipper.
Well, we're going to find out in a couple of sectors' time. Ryan O'Sullivan's been just about the quickest in Sector 2, and there's a new climb in Sector 2 as well! Car 56, the youngster, works out of a sim racing store down in Melbourne. He's a coach. You can get him to help you out. You can get down there and have him looking at your driving over your shoulder. But for now, we're all looking over his shoulder. There's a story to tell for car 56. It's pointing itself in the right direction. You'll focus on Porsche Cup when this lap is done. But for now, anchors need to be applied. Car needs to be put together. The sectors look good, but the lap is not done. Armorall Bridge, one more corner. Damon Woods wants to be the best driver in the country. There is nothing else that'll prevent him from doing it, but it's wide at Murray's, and now he'll try and get to it. Does he have the lap? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. You're kidding me. Sully still maintains the top of the pile. Are we on 15th to 1st? Is this the mission? He looked good. He looked so good.
It looks like it all come unstuck just into that last corner. I don't know if he just got in a little bit deep, but whatever it was, it just got away from it a little bit. And boy, oh boy, heart and mouth stuff for Ryan O'Sullivan. He holds on. Woods crosses the line in 4th.
Mate, best shootout bar none. And there's 4 drivers to come. There's 4 drivers to come. What are we about to see? Next up's his teammate. Next up is car 17. This guy drives everything you can poke a stick at. If it's got a key, he'll drive it. If you have to bump start it, doesn't matter. He'll drive it. Zach Rattray White, I've said a multitude of times. I've seen him a number of times over the years. I saw him back before he didn't want to poke a stick at being anywhere near this series. And another man that has gone to work on his driving ethics. And the results are in the pudding. He was 3rd back at Sandown. Ignore those results on the bottom half of that graphic. They are definitely wrong. Again, I apologize. I did all the work on the numbers. So this one comes from me. But he's a man on a climb in 2026. He was on a climb last year as well. He just about got there, but he also drives sprint cars. He doesn't care if he goes sideways. He will do whatever he has to do to drive a race car.
Metro White gets himself ready to attack his lap on the mountain. And just checking out the stats, our good mate Brenton has told us that Jake Maloney won 1,000. Sully made the top 15 by 1,000 second in front of Maloney. And now look at where he sits at the moment. Top of the leaderboard in the final stages of the top 15 shootout. Unbelievable.
And I'll apologise to all the fans that are watching along at home. I adjusted my formulas for all my spreadsheets after Jade started putting the graphics together. That's on me. Don't blame them. Blame no one else. It was 3rd last time out at Sandown for car 17. He was enjoying being alongside a good friend in Griffin Gardner, and he will be so yet again this weekend. Phillip Island, he sits 16th. It wasn't a great run out there, but he's also thrown away his opportunity in the Endurance Cup this year with a change of co-drivers between Phillip Island and Sandown. From Mexico, he was 13th. From Spa, he was 5th. Another driver good in the wet, sits 7th in the championship, 334 points ahead. And all of a sudden, I think that's a new purple in Sector 1. Yeah, it was, by about 8 thousandths, I believe.
It's looking good so far, and the top of the mountain is just that little bit darker and overcast, so that might work in his favour here as he heads across the top of the mountain through over Skyline and makes his way through the S's down to the Dipper. Car looks good. He's using all the real estate, got that turned in nice and early. That was beautiful.
And mate, you can tell it's a simulator because there were guys in shorts. 267, 267. Yep. I tell you what, he's purple in the first 2. He's purple in the first 2. Zach Rattray White is on his way again. There is 2 major corners to the end of this lap, and he's still going to pull it up. But we saw that Damon Woods lost the rear in the back half of the lap. He lost the rear in the back half of the lap. But the big thing is, you can tell it's a simulator. Why? There's fans from the top of the mountain as the sun starts to set wearing shorts. That ain't realistic. You can't tell me that is by any stretch of the imagination. The one thing, though, that matters to the end of this lap, accurate at the chase, turns it back in, stands on the loud pedal, to the Armorall Bridge, to Murray's, to a man that is also crawling out of bed at stupid o'clock in the morning to drive Porsches, to the final corner. It wasn't sliding on the way in. It will on the way out. For Zach Rattray White, he's done it! He's done it! He won!
Oh, the first one that's been able to take it to Ryan O'Sullivan. Zach Rattray White stops the clocks at a 2:05.325 provisional pole.
He'll be fist pumping, he'll be happy, he'll be ecstatic about that one. I've seen him nervous laugh on occasions when he's made a few mistakes. It was in a GT Pro session. at Spa last year when he turned a teammate under safety car and got a penalty for it. But now it's time for the big hitters. Jared Filsell is the next man to attack this mountain. Then it's Robbie Gibbs, then it's Andrew Gilliam. That's all that stands between us and the tail end of this session. Filsell was to be confirmed earlier on in the day. We were still trying to get final word on who'll be co-driving this car. Harley Haber was the result. The Endurance Cup has not necessarily gone the way for car number 93 that he would have necessarily liked. 37th at Sandown, 13th from Phillip Island. He currently sits in 8th position in the championship, and there's work to do for this car.
Yeah, his stats speak for himself. You know, what Jared Filsell is capable of. At the end of the day, he's going to be a contender. It doesn't matter what racetrack, what race, what time of the year. He's going to be there or thereabouts, and a real threat to tackle the mountain as far as grabbing pole position today.
I tell you what, Andrew Gilliam speaks words about the data that you get out of this man as well, and talk about driving the car and everything that you possibly can. Won't obviously give away the secrets to it, but he says you cannot learn any more about how to drive a race car than comes your way from Jared Filsell. There's just things that he does that other people just cannot do, and we are all trying to copy him. From now though, car 94 from the final corner. It has had a wealth of stars in it across the years. It's had Brody Kostecki, it's had Shane Van Gisbergen, and tomorrow the co-driver will be none other than Sandown hero from a couple of years ago, Harley Haber. But for now, Jared Filsell's mountain to the championship is one to climb here. A couple of years ago, he had Brody Kostecki not able to make Bathurst 1000 Sunday in 2024. That handed over to Thomas McMillan on that occasion, and that was the moment his championship died. A blown engine early in the race meant endurance points that he could not afford to give up, threw away any opportunity to title. And I think Car 94 wants redemption.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, that name, that team is someone you never discount. Not much in it, a 47.119 for Sector 1. So incredibly close to Zach Ratcho White as he still hustles. Oh, takes it right out wide, up against the concrete. Couple of sparks there. Didn't do any damage, but used all the real estate and just a fraction more.
It did not turn its way in at McPhillamy all that well. Again, scraping along the fence on the left-hand side. He's done this so many times to pole position on a Saturday night from the mountain. Just about on the fence out the other side of the dipper. He has used every corner of this car. They're not called wing mirrors. They're called feelers in a V8 supercar. But I'm sure right now they look like they're still stapled on. I feel like they belong somewhere up and across the top. But it's not just been the front end of the car. It's been the rear as well. All four corners are just about scraped off this thing down through to the chase.
Yeah, he dropped another 10th in that second sector, so he's got a lot of work to do coming into the final sector. Car looks good though here, hard on the brakes. Gets it turned in, just grabs that tiny little bit of curb, doesn't upset the car, back into the throttle. Oh, a little bit sideways on exit. What is he going to do, and whereabouts is he going to stop the clock? He's probably going to miss out on pole position for the moment. Comes out of that final corner, up on the curb. He'll stop the clocks at a 5.483.
Whoa, that's so close to pole position. A 4.67 is only good enough for P3 for Jared Filsell. And there will be work to do from the second row of the grid. But, and here's the kicker, it's not confirmed second row of the grid. One more driver goes behind him, he will be locked onto the second row no matter what happens. But at this point in time, should Robbie Gibbs, who's the next car to go out here, or Andrew Gilliam pip him, Jared Filsell starts the great race from the third row. For car number 31 though, we'll get into the crux of the statistics now. 6th back at Sandown. He finished, sorry, my apologies. I'm going to correct that one again. I got the statistics the wrong way around. Jay was absolutely ragging me for getting my formulas wrong earlier on. It was 4th from Sandown for the results for Robbie Gibbs. From Phillip Island, my apologies. Sits 3rd in the Endurance Cup standings at 688 points. It's 6th in the championship. It's been a series of rebuilding himself. He had a torrid time last year in 2025 and abandoned ship early. Reset himself, goes again in 2026. And again, another one of those guys that after a couple of years of bad runs, finally puts himself together.
Absolutely, and I think Car 31 is going to be a strong contender overall because obviously a great qualifying session to get him into the 15 shootout, P number 2. So he's the second last car out on the grid to see if they can grab provisional pole. Got his work cut up for him to take it up against Zach Ratcho White at 205, 325. But Robbie Gibbs is almost ready to have his lap on the mountain.
One more car remains after car 31. The worst that Zach Rattray White can start. The Australian sim racing group Logitech G Bathurst 1000 to finalise the True Force Endurance Cup will be third. Only Robbie Gibbs and Andrew Gilliam can change where he stands. And for now, for Robbie, the mountain will fall silent. This is a man who thinks he should be right at the pointy end of things. He had some wild ideas of what he was going to do to put a race car together. And of this you can certainly be sure. The lights go off flashing for Robbie Gibbs on his way up the mountain straight. Ain't no one out there to let you know that you need to get past them. And you can see the shadows starting to hang long as he enters Griffins.
Yeah, it was very dark in the first corner, but as he makes his way, he's got the sunshine right here. Car looks good though, gets it turned in nicely. Find himself, he's pumped. Love these conditions. He always just missed that apex just a tiny bit.
It did not want to turn in at the cutting. And here comes the first sector time. It's down by a tenth, nearly 1.3 tenths at the moment for Robbie Gibbs. And that means he stood on the loud pedal to try and find some speed out of it. It wiggled all over the road as he just about found the fence up and underneath the tree. What's the accuracy like it? McPhillamy is pretty reasonable. All the curb up and out the other side. There's not a cloud of dust that gets thrown in the air.
No, car was perfect. He positioned it nicely. What's he going to see if he stops the times that he's trying to chase down something better than a 30.2 right through this corner now, 30.333. So he's lost a little bit more time again.
Now it's to the elbow. He's fractionally down. He's probably got 2 tenths to find at this point in time. For Robbie Gibbs, for car 31, 2 tenths of a second, by the way, puts him fourth on the grid to this point in time. It's gonna need to be a purple sector by a monstrous amount of time. Probably needs to be looking for a 47.8. An 8 flat would put him on pole position at the end of this one. Turns it in. At the chase, he turned it in narrow, but that meant he got back to the power nice and early. Inside of the curb on the right-hand side. Up and over the other side. There is only one more lap to come after this one. For Robbie Gibbs, can he see pole position when he passes the checkered flag right here? Will he see a strong lap time on 0.59? It's not going to be good at all. I tell you what, Sully is going to be starting this race on the second row of the grid at worst. It could be the front row from 15.
That's a fairy book story, isn't it? That's unreal. That's the beauty of the top 15 shootout. You just never know what you're going to get. Doesn't matter whether you go out first or go out last. Nothing's for certain. And there's only one more man out there that can upset the apple cart, and it's this man, Andrew Gilliam, on screen.
And at the moment, it's been a pretty good season, you'd have to say. Pretty good. Well, he's leading the damn championship. You can't get much better than that for car 201. For Andrew Gilliam, 15th place back at Sandown. 3rd place from Philippine. Again, I'll apologise for the stats. My word, I am not making myself look good as a data analyst. I don't think anyone's going to want to hire me at this rate. For Mexico, it was 2nd. It was actually 6th back at Spa when we dug back through it. He is your championship leader. And one of the most embarrassing things this guy has ever done is cried on national TV.
Oh, geez, why do you have to bring that up?
Because it was a heartbreaking moment alongside a very, very good friend of his when he was trying to engineer a masterclass for the Premier Racing team in the 2025 Bathurst 1000. He knew what it meant to himself, but more importantly, what it meant to Richie. Oh, by the way, as an engineer, how about this for a mentor, Ludo Lacroix? Could you imagine having that in your back corner?
Yeah, what a squad. That team has got so much promise. And like you said, he's got one of the best, he's got one of the coolest jobs in supercars. And now it's his turn to have a crack on the mountain in the virtual world and see if he can grab pole for the biggest race of the year, the Bathurst 1000 for the Scops, the Logitech Pro Invitational.
Here we go. Ladies and gents, for Andrew Gilliam, one final lap. Rattray White can start no worse than the front row. It will change up whether it's an all-eclipse front row or it becomes a little bit of a sandwich with a few drivers in and amongst this. For car 201, did you see that? Did you see that both of the Lobs cars at the back end of this shootout squared off the final corner and shot it out very aggressively? At turn 1, they're going to need to find speed in the first half of this lap. That's the big key to getting this done. That's the big key that they've put it all on the table. The TDR strategy of putting the back half of the lap together, it has not worked today. So fire these tyres up, Andrew Gilliam. His parents will be sitting at home watching this. They love getting involved in his sim racing. He got an opportunity to celebrate with some champagne at the end of last year's Bathurst 1000. He was over the moon with everything that he achieved last year. And this year, at the halfway mark, this man stands atop of the pile.
He's gunning it now, just trying to see where he can stop the clock. A 47.117. Still nothing in it. He's still a chance to grab pole, but he needs the rest of the lap to come together for him.
But the big thing is, that's 0.02 of a second worse off than we've seen from Sullivan, but he had a big whack with the right rear in the wall as they got to the grade. For the final time in the shootout, up and past the fans of McPhillamy. The plunge. What's car 201 got underneath it? What is it going to be? He gets to drive tomorrow alongside a driver he thoroughly enjoys working with in Jaden Ojeda. And now it's coming down to the final couple of corners. He's closer. Actually, he's not too far off, you know. He's got to find about 1/10 and a little bit, but this car, the Lobs Esports number 94, was good enough to do it in the final sector. He's close enough, but he is going to have to put the last half of a lap of his lifetime together. If there is one man in 2026 you think can do it, it's 201 to the chase, to the last time on the anchors, last lap of the shootout, 15 laps from the best drivers in the country. Who is going to stand amongst the pile? Who is going to be left to ask questions on Bathurst Sunday? And who will start from P1 tomorrow? For Andrew Gilliam, for the final quarter, for Lobs Esports, he'll fire it up to the line. 3-3-4. No! He got it! I don't believe it! He got it! Purple to the final sector! He needed the sector of a lifetime! And he puts it together!
Snatches it in the final sector. Unbelievable. Never discount this man. He was there or thereabouts, took it to purple in the last sector and grabs pole.
My word. Well done, son. Well done. There'll be some fist pumping. There'll be some celebration. And you know what? No, there won't. Gilly will keep it quiet. This is the moment I thought it was over. You saw it. Jay saw it behind the scenes. Everybody around the country saw it. And you're going to see it in slow-mo once more. Against the fence. I thought it was done. I thought this lap was done.
No, he was lucky that he just caught it flush. So if it had been a little bit sideways and caught the rear and then put the front back in, it would have been a lot worse off. But he just gently got it up against the wall there, nice and flush, and grabs pole for the biggest race of the year, the Bathurst 1000.
Mate, well done. I tell you what, 7 thousandths of a second. That's why I thought he didn't have it. I didn't think that last sector looked good enough. And the other thing I'll point out to you is that reminds me of Job Stewart last year in his shootout in Super 2. And the reason I say it, he put that thing in the fence at the elbow. And he was on for purple sectors and to take that away. That's got that written all over it. My word, what a job.
What a top three. Andrew Gilliam, what a lap. Zach Rattray White and Ryan O'Sullivan. The first car out in the top 15 shootout. And he will start the great race from P3.
But Sandman, the best part about this, I normally look at the shootout and I'm like, shootouts are great. I've never enjoyed one. That's the best. That has been the best over the last 3 years of working with you, mate. I kid you not. That was so much fun because it was just such a mixed bag. It was such a mixed bag. That track looked genuinely difficult to drive. I tell you what, there's about one man right now that will know exactly what it's like to drive. Andrew Gilliam, pole from the mountain by 7 thousandths of a second. And the entirety of Australia that was watching that saw a glance of the wall across the top and thought it was done. How was your heart rate cresting Skyline?
Oh my God. Oh, that was so intense. My hands were absolutely buzzing crossing the line. I had no idea if I had it or not. It just came down. I'm like, 318. And I was just screaming.
Mate, 2/10. You were down by 2/10 to the end of the second sector. All of that in the final sector after grazing the fence across the top. That saps the confidence out of every driver in the business. Do you know where you got it? Actually, I'll hold off on that. We'll actually probably be able to tell everybody tomorrow. We've actually got something really, really cool planned. We will be able
nice.
to show all of the top 15 laps from the shootout tomorrow, mate. If you had to rank that lap, obviously the nerves were so high. That is a dusty track. I've never seen a qualifying session quite like that. That looked tricky to put together. When Jared come into the pits, I guarantee you there was a few words about what the track feels like, but nerves, there's nothing like a shootout session.
Man, it is the best lap of the year. Like, it is such a privilege to be a part of it. It's so fun. Like, there's no other situation in the year where you're like controlling your breath going into the last braking zone as much as you are here. Like, it is really, really grueling mentally, to execute at a really high level when your fight or flight response is pinging. When I hit the wall, I'm like, it's not over, because I've practice session, the 0x doesn't count. So I was like, press on, I'm not going to give up. I fired the thing into Skyline, and I had a 5.0 in my dash, and I came into the elbow at 3.3 tenths down, and I just got this mega run off the elbow. And I'm like, if I do a better job at the chase than I've done all weekend, maybe I can get it. And I just had a crack. Honestly, I put everything I know about the chase and said it has to work or it's not pole. And I hit the brakes. I hesitated turning in, just got enough curb to get it rotated, and then broke deeper than I had all weekend into the last corner and skated it in and cracked the throttle. And I'm like, crossing my fingers basically across the line. I couldn't tell. There's not enough resolution on my dash to tell me what the lap was going to be like.
Oh, mate, we can hear it in your voice. We can hear you smiling like that. Just for us in the commentary box watching that unfold, we said that you needed a purple sector in the last one to get the job done. And mate, you did it and just grabbed it by the barest of margins. How good is that? That's so good.
Yeah, definitely not my best shootout lap. I've definitely had much better ones in the past, but definitely maybe the coolest to actually leave some paint on the top of the mountain and still get pole. It's pretty cool.
Mate, the only thing is, I said before this one is, the first year I did this job, and the first year I was asked to do this job, I had goosebumps doing it. And then since then, they've been a little bit dry, they've been a little bit boring. But you probably had one of the weirdest sit downs and watch. You were watching some of that broadcast. I know your teammate was, because he was in chat, just sort of messaging and checking in with everybody and harassing us all as he likes to throw up a little bit of banter. But at the same time, mate, do you reckon it adds to the flavor because you get more nervous watching people doing their laps, or are you mission control? Are you just controlling everything you can?
It's interesting because I've had pole from like second or third last runner, and I think this was the most exciting way to do it because you cross the line, you've done it, like that's it. So yeah, and then at least you know exactly what to target. You just go in knowing what the job is. There's no questions unanswered when you cross the line. So no, this is my preference.
Mate, final question, because sleep is going to be absolutely critical to everything that you guys do tomorrow. Then it's about calorie management. Then it's about managing the stress of the race. I guarantee you there's a race plan going on in the background. Do you let your teammates start the car? Whose job is it to get this thing away from the front row of the field? Because I guarantee you Jaden's nerves just went up a few notches now.
Nah, I got the pole. I think I'll have a crack and lead from the start of the race if I can get Zach off the line. But yeah, I think you definitely just start your main driver and get the race underway. There's so much flexibility with how long the race is compared to, say, a stand down. So yeah,
other than that, simple. I'll let you settle down because I can hear your breath. You're starting to normalize. You've just started to. Okay, never mind that. Mate, I guarantee your parents are out there ready and waiting to come in and celebrate with you. Get out there and enjoy everything. Is there anyone that you want to say a thank you now, or you're going to save it for tomorrow?
Definitely. Thanks to all the boys for a big week of setup work. We've done a lot of race work as well, which I think will come to fruition tomorrow. Massive thanks to the Juice for spending all the time. He's busy with his GT3 and his supercars program, but still spent the last few weeks grinding away on the sim on my behalf. So yeah, big thanks to him as well. OG Sim Gear for being on board with us this year, and as always, you guys for putting on such a good show, and my parents and sister watching in the room behind me. Thanks for supporting me, guys.
Mate, congratulations. Go and high five everyone and save the champagne for the checkered flag tomorrow, because at this point in time, like, genuinely, I want to say this on behalf of everyone, because you took some time out of your busy schedule a couple of times when I've been to the racetrack over the last couple of years. I every time I talk to people, the wealth of support that goes your way and the wealth of support that wants to see whatever car you're working on and engineering on is massive. To everyone that's watching along the home, if you ever go to a racetrack, flick the guy a message. He's got so much time for you. He will absolutely have a chat to you. He'll take you around. He'll walk you through. And to your co-driver as well, he's done that even though he didn't know who he was talking to at the time. I got an opportunity to talk to him at the 12 hour last year. And he walked us through and had an extensive chat to us. This is one of the most approachable people you'll ever find in the paddock. There is a reason the whole community stands behind you tonight, mate. Celebrate, enjoy, and just enjoy every moment of this.
Yeah, thank you, mate. That means a lot. I appreciate it.
Righto, we're going to get an opportunity to enjoy the interviews with a couple of the other drivers. We'll take one step further down on the rostrum. Driver of car number 17 threw absolutely everything he had at that lap, and he came up just barely short. Stephen Sandman Clark is standing alongside a man that missed out on pole by 7 1,000ths of a second.
Oh, Zach, how's the heart rate, mate? That would have been heart and mouth stuff. And I don't know, a bit like us, we probably thought when he got across the top of the mountain, we probably thought you might have been in with a sniff here, and he just pipped you in that last sector.
Yeah, it's more so just a bit of confusion, like not so how much he beat me, because I know he beat me. Obviously, did a better job in the last sector and stuff. But the track was just super weird with how it progressed. Like starting off, it was obviously quite quick, and then must have went away and came back again. So yeah, there's still quite a lot of time on the table with that lap. I was a 10th and a half down and across the top. So probably could have done a bit better, but end of the day, it doesn't make that much of a difference compared to what we've got to do tomorrow. So we'll get on with it.
Yeah, we've been saying that throughout the broadcast. As Bathurst is one of those races. Obviously, it's such a long day, and it doesn't matter where you start. But it's good to be on the front row, and hopefully, if there's any rubbish or carnage that happens in those opening laps, you're far enough away from it, and you can just settle into the race. So that's obviously a good feeling for you, knowing that you've got a clear racetrack in front of you.
Yeah, well, it's a long race, but it can certainly end pretty quickly. Yeah, well, it gives us a good chance to maybe get the whole shot down to turn one. Yeah, it just sets the day up for a lot easier start. Mainly, it's I think so. If someone's fast, they can obviously carve up and go from the back to the front, which I'm sure some people will do tomorrow. It just certainly makes it safer. Like it eliminates all of the bogey people that might cause incidents that just shouldn't happen. So yeah, I'm glad that think of it this way, we could still stick it in the fence by ourselves. So I'm not gonna put everything down to other people driving shocking. It's certainly a possibility for me, especially at this rate. But no, look, it was a good lap. It's a good lap.
Got another question for you here, mate. You've got another job to do before start of this race tomorrow. We're talking a little bit about Porsche Cup and the break and the downtime in between qualifying session. Championship prospects and attempting to qualify for the Porsche Esports Cup internationally. Obviously, you and Damon have been putting so much work, but also Cody Deeth, and a lot of effort's been going in behind the scenes to not only advance Eclipse Sim Sports within the Australian hemisphere, but you guys have put that step forward in the last 12 or 18 months with the Formula 4 stuff as well. Like, is there anything that you won't drive?
Not a fan of GDPs. I'll put that out there. But no, I'm going straight to bed after this. We've got an early start tomorrow. I think get up around 4. Yeah, PES qualifies is about 5:30. So yeah, that car is not fun to drive. So hopefully you can just get that done and move on to the fun
Ben,
stuff.
get him out of the commentary box. No, you can't say that about a Porsche with him in my presence, mate. Get out. It's good to see.
Just did, mate. So.
Other than that, we have one more driver to have a quick little bit of a chat to before we get through the final of things tonight, before we get on to things tomorrow. It's Car 74 and Ryan O'Sullivan. Sally, you had the first opportunity to have a stab at the track. Car 74, were you happy with that lap when you crossed the start-finish line? Because that looked a little bit better than you were in the qualifying session. And then for some reason, nobody else could find that speed until very, very late.
Yeah, thanks, Scotty. Yeah, quite a gobsmack, to be honest. About 5 or 6 cars went after me, and I'm thinking, bloody hell, I've actually done a decent lap here. I remember going down Conrod, and actually went off mute, and I said, "Oh, there's no grip up the top. This is a pretty bad lap." But it turns out to be actually quite good. I just kind of kept it clean, and yeah, it's just kind of one of those laps. I had no expectation, no pressure, and just kind of went out there and just did a clean lap. It turned out to be pretty good.
Mate, one of the best things that happens is you get the opportunity to go out there and get the track all to yourself. And mate, there's no pressure on. Do you think that really helped your first shootout lap since returning to the car, returning to the series, and probably not a high expectation? But you walk in, look, we'll put whatever we can on the table. Do you reckon that just took some of that energy out of the lap and you're just able to focus on your job?
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it too. Like, obviously, first one out. Obviously, it's got its own challenges, but yeah, there was no expectation and no pressure to try and beat a lap time. So that definitely contributed to the lap, and it definitely helps that that Zach and obviously all the boys we can all put up a pretty good setup. Zach's been doing a lot of work the past week, and yeah, it's a rocket ship at the moment. So hopefully we can convert tomorrow.
Mate, second row of the grid. Second row gives you a lot of opportunities. How are you overall feeling about the race car for tomorrow? Given again, you've got to hand over to a co-driver, but the championship standings. We talked to you back at the start of the qualifying series. You're like, yeah, look, I should win one of these things. Well, it finally did happen. You're finally in the series. That race car and that pace that you were showing off probably says that was the toughest qualifying series we've had in the years that we've had here.
Yeah. Qualifying series was it was a bit of a tough one. Had some speed in some of the races, and obviously the internet dropout didn't help. But start of the season we were going really well. Obviously, sitting in third at the start, but the enduro campaign we've been pretty unlucky. So we'll see what happens. I mean, long race tomorrow. Like anything can happen.
Other than that, is there anyone that you would like to give a thank you to on behalf of not only yourself but also your teammate who's just jumped out? Zach has raced and sprinted off to bed to get every lick of sleep that he possibly can.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thanks to all the boys too at Eclipse Sim Sports. I'd like to thank LDP, 56 Sim Coaching, and Core Temp Air Conditioning.
Mate, go hard tomorrow. Give yourself every crack, and we'll see if you can walk away and get to spray some champagne at the other end of it. But it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you this year and having an opportunity to embrace everything that's going on around you and the Eclipse Sim Sport team at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Scotty. Cheers, guys.
Sandman, that is look, I'm just going to say it because I think the fans are saying it. I think the fans are feeling it. That is the best shootout that we have ever had here, mate. Yeah. And I said that last night about the co-driver clash. But there's something different this year. There is genuinely something different. There is honestly 10 cars that can win this race tomorrow. We have not said that in every year that I've been here for this.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter where they start either, and that's the beauty of this series. The Logitech G Pro Invitational, I've said it before, and I'm biased, but I reckon we've got the best sim racers in the country. They're going to tackle the mountain tomorrow, 161 laps. It's going to be an absolute belter. And tonight, last night, the whole week has been brilliant to the lead up to the big one, and I can't wait.
Tomorrow, broadcast coverage will kick off from about 10:45 a.m. We are trying to get ourselves some extra driver interviews on the grid, everything that we possibly can do. There'll be an opportunity to have a look at all 15 of the shootout laps. If we can get the data for them, there's still that bridge to cross just yet. I'm going to apologize to everyone sitting along at home. I have got so much data wrong today. I rewrote scripts. I was trying to squeeze everything I could possibly get in to get this sort of stuff done, but I think the proof is in the pudding. We have had the best shootout that we have ever had from Mount Panorama. That is the trickiest shootout that we've ever had. We have never seen a driver in this series qualify into the shootout from 15th start on the second row of the grid. If you want to venture back tomorrow, 10:45 a.m. Sim Speed on YouTube. It's also going to be ASRG over on YouTube. On Facebook, the same two pages as well. From the Speed Cafe universe, we're going out to all of the real-world racing fans as well. If you thought tonight was fun, you better join back again tomorrow. Get yourself a sim. For all those real-world racing fans that are sitting along at home, go get a sim. It is just that fun. I cannot tell you. I love racing. I grew up on motocross bikes. I love this stuff. I thoroughly love it. And like I said, there's a bit of character. There's something for everyone out there. There's Mazda MX-5s, the Toyota 86s, there's Porsche Cup cars. You'll never drag me out of a Porsche Cup car, mate. I'm sorry, they beat supercars every day of the week for me, but they're not for everyone. And there is a mountain of 1,000 kilometers worth of racing from a V8 supercar from Circuit Mount Panorama. There is a shootout to end all shootouts. There is a lap that he didn't think was all that good. There was a brush of the fence. What does that cascade into tomorrow? The only way to find out is to join us for the Logitech G V8 Pro Invitational Series and the finale of the True Force Endurance Cup. Who will make their way through? Who will claim success from the mountain? See you all tomorrow.
One click is the difference between winning or watching. And this is the fastest click in the world. Powered by revolutionary HITS technology. With custom actuation, rapid trigger reset, and click intensity. Tuned to your competitive play. We didn't just evolve the click. We reinvented it. Built on the precision of Hero 2. Trusted with Lightspeed Wireless. Forged in a championship-winning design. And made yours through G-Hub. Pro X2 Super Strike. Designed with pros. Engineered to win.